Their CUSA Tournament Lives. Yesterday, Middle Tennessee fought back with moxie and determination to even the series against Sam Houston with their most home runs in a game since 2024. And now they hope to springboard those bombs into a full-blown explosion today to clinch their first CUSA Road Series win of the season. It's the Bearcats, it's the Blue Raiders, and it's about that time. Dylan Simmons with you on the call once again, and welcome back to Huntsville, Texas, for what could be one of the most consequential games of the year for Blue Raider baseball as they look to once and for all conquer their road demons and take a series win over Sam Houston. Game number 1 on Friday was headlined by a signature performance from maybe the best pitcher in the conference, Ryan Peterson. His 8 innings pitched with 9 strikeouts allowed for the Bearcats to clinch the series opener, but MTSU would not stay down for long. Yesterday, the Raiders turned the tide with a mountain of offense, headlined by 12 runs and 5 homers on their way to a 12-8 victory. Now, with all of that in the background, the only question left to be asked is what will today's rubber match bring, and what will it take for the Raiders to take the deciding fall in this best-of-3 Classic Series? Let's take a look at some of the stats for yesterday's game. We will start with MTSU's bats, and that's because they were on one in yesterday's game against the Bearcats. We talked to Nathan Brewer in the pregame. You'll hear a little bit from him later on in the show. 4 RBIs and 2 home runs yesterday for the left fielder. He was absolutely sensational. Lane Akers had a solo home run shot, ended up with 2 total hits on the day. Clay Badalak got a hit as well. Tyler Minnick had 4 RBIs, including a 2-run home run and 2 hits. Cooper Clapp had 2 hits and 1 RBI. And Owen Nowak had a great day with 3 hits, 1 RBI, and 2 runs scored for a man who's already in the top 5 in Conference USA in runs scored this season. However, maybe the biggest story of the day was MTSU's pitching, and especially that of Gavin King. Ended up taking the win for the Blue Raiders with 4 1/3 innings pitched, just 2 earned runs given up on a 2-run home run shot to Ryan Frandon, and 8 strikeouts as well in 81 total pitches. Chandler Alderman was also on the mound for 4 innings yesterday, gave up 5 earned runs and 2 strikeouts, and Bryant Baranek came in for 2 earned runs, or rather 2/3 of an inning as well for MTSU on their way to the 12-8 victory. Blue Raiders now sit at 22-21 overall, 9-11 in conference play. Sam Houston is now 19-24 overall, 8-12 in conference play. And when you take a look at the current CUSA standings, it is, as I've been saying all weekend, an absolute madhouse in the middle part of the conference. Western Kentucky and Middle now tied at 9-11 in the conference standings. Sam Houston right below MTSU at 8-12. They'll be looking to gain a tiebreaker today with a series win. New Mexico State is at 8-12, tied with Sam Houston. And Kennesaw State at 7-13 below all of those teams. Jacksonville State still leads the conference at 17-3, Liberty at 14-6, Missouri State at 14-6, and DBU also at 14-6. So needless to say, there is a lot of competition taking place between all of these teams so far here this year, and I'd say that will continue as time goes on. Let's soon take a look at the MTSU stats from Friday's game as well. Blue Raiders ended up getting a loss in that game 6-3. Didn't have quite the same hitting prowess as they had in yesterday's game number 2. But as I mentioned, a large part of that was due to Ryan Peterson and his 8 total innings and 9 strikeouts. And really the last 2 days have been headlined by 2 pitchers who have kind of taken over for their respective teams. And that leads into our pitching matchup for today's game. For Sam Houston, they're going to bring out Tate Hickman for today's contest. And Hickman, a pretty solid pitcher, especially here at home for the Bearcats, with a 6.51 ERA, 27 2/3 innings pitched, and making his 11th appearance of the year. He also has 22 strikeouts. His season high was 6 innings pitched with 6 strikeouts against DBU back on April 12th. Meanwhile, for the Blue Raiders, it's Cole Torbett, who absolutely shoved on the mound last weekend against Delaware in the Sunday matchup, helping the Blue Raiders to clinch a sweep, and was also named CUSA Pitcher of the Week for his performance. Went 8 2/3 innings against the Blue Hens, as well as had several strikeouts against Delaware in that contest, but he's only going to be making his 5th appearance of the season. Torbett officially had 6 strikeouts against Delaware. That's the stat I was looking for. And he's got a big contest against him today with this Sam Houston team and their great batters they have at their disposal. If they bring what they had yesterday, it will certainly be a tough matchup for Torbett. However, he is comfortable sometimes in these stressful situations, and we'll see if he'll be able to handle the best that Sam Houston has to offer. We're going to take a quick 2-minute timeout. When we come back, we will hear from Nathan Brewer about his performance yesterday and how MTSU can take the series today in Texas against Sam Houston. Back in 2 minutes here on the Blue Raider pregame show from Van Wagner.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders!
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's Locker Room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition. So step up your style and your spirit, because at Lightning's Locker Room, the season never slows down, and every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.
Hey Blue Raider fans, this is Brad Hopkins with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates. Winning in real estate is a lot like football. Good coaching and recruiting a great team are the keys. I put together a team of lenders, inspectors, and home professionals to help you succeed. Let me coach you through this process and make sure you come out a winner. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, I am here to help you win. Visit BradHopkinsHomes.com or call 615-556-9239 to find out more.
Nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity that could have changed your life. Maybe you're just graduating high school or are working and need to earn a degree to advance your career. Or you aspire to be a leader, and a graduate degree can make that happen. Whether you're just starting out or retooling for the future, Middle Tennessee State University can help you get there. MTSU, the University of Opportunities.
The Blue Raiders play here. News Radio WGNS.
Welcome back to the pregame show. Dylan Simmons with you live from Don Sanders Stadium in Huntsville, Texas. The rubber match today on tap between MTSU and the Sam Houston Bearcats. Well, before Game 3 today, I got the chance to talk to Nathan Brewer about his sensational performance last night, a couple of home runs, 4 RBIs, and what he and the team need to do to clinch the series today on the road against the Bearcats. Welcome back here on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner. Dylan Simmons standing by with Mr. Nathan Brewer of the MTSU baseball team. Nathan, how's it going?
It's going all right.
Well, you guys had a great game yesterday against Sam Houston. Obviously, the offense was doing some great stuff. 5 total home runs, most in a game for you guys since 2024. 2 home runs for yourself. What was working for the team yesterday?
I think we just really thought about the wind and knew that it was going to be blowing to the left, so we just all decided, like, lefties to go backside and righties to go full, just change the approach up.
Another thing that I noticed for you guys yesterday is that it felt like you were able to capture momentum in those crucial moments of yesterday's game. Do you feel the same way?
Oh, absolutely. I think we just attacked whenever whenever this momentum shifted, and I think we just got those good hits that we really needed later in the game, and I think it helped a lot.
Yeah, timely hitting, always a big thing. Now, obviously, today's game is vital as far as the conference standings go, but also to capture your first CUSA Road Series win of the season. How are you guys approaching this game while also trying to take the series?
I think we're just trying to take it the same way we did yesterday, just trying to have fun and not make it like a job. Just keep trying to make it like you're playing a kid's game, you know?
I like that. You're trying to have some fun today. Now, what will it take in your mind for MTSU to capture a win today against Sam Houston?
I think it just comes down to being disciplined at the plate and just keep throwing strikes on the mound.
All right, sounds good, Nathan. Appreciate it, and go get them.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That was Nathan Brewer from the Blue Raider baseball team talking about today's matchup and his great performance yesterday against these Bearcats. And we appreciate Nathan stopping by and talking to us for a couple of moments about what today's game might bring. Let's take a quick look at the Ascend starting lineups. Ascend Federal Credit Union is the exclusive credit union of Blue Raider Athletics. Learn more at ascend.org. We will start with the Sam Houston Bearcats, and it's about the same lineup they've had before. At third base is Ryan Frandon, center fielder Jarrett Curtis, Cade Corcoran at first base, Nathan Fink is the DH, Sean Bazemore in right field, Hunter Alvord is the shortstop. Ty Marthel Johnny slots in at catcher, Kirby Orth in left field, Jace Martinez is the second baseman, and Tate Hickman will be the pitcher. Meanwhile, for your Blue Raiders, Owen Nowak will be in center field, Tyler Minnick behind the dish at catcher, Cooper Clapp will be at second base, Dean O'Neill at first base, Nathan Brewer in left field, Brett Rogers in right field, Lane Akers is the DH, Brett Von Dolan at third base, Clay Badalak at short, and Cole Torbett on the bump for your Blue Raiders. We're going to take one more 2-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll have the Bearcats and the Blue Raiders, the rubber match with Blue Raider Baseball on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Will Fraley, attorney at law, has experience you can count on. Former Blue Raider baseball player and MTSU alum Will Fraley serves Murfreesboro and the surrounding communities. Put a strong and experienced legal fighter on your case. Give Will Fraley a call and he can handle all of your legal matters, including criminal and domestic or family law. Visit willfraleylaw.com or call 615-410-7290.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
Hey folks, it's Chip Walters from Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates, helping Middle Tennessee make smart moves in a fast-moving market. Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, you deserve someone who knows this community and treats your goals like their own. From first-timers to long-time homeowners, I'm here to guide you with clarity, confidence, and a steady hand. When you're ready to make the next move, start with someone you trust. Visit choosechip.net and let's make your 2026 move the right move.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders.
WGNS, Murfreesboro, Smyrna, the flagship station for Blue Raider sports. From the Blue Raider Network and Van Wagner College, it's time for Middle Tennessee State University baseball. Today's game is brought to you in part by Exit Realty, Bob Lamb & Associates, and agents Brad Hopkins, Richard Lewis, Jonathan Harmon, and Chip Walters, the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, and by Middle Tennessee State University. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Blue Raider Baseball.
And indeed it is time for Blue Raider Baseball in Texas. Dylan Simmons with you on this early Sunday afternoon, right about high noon now, for what should be a fantastic rubber match between the Sam Houston Bearcats and your Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders. MTSU trying to get win number 10 in conference play this season, and most importantly, clinch what would be their first CUSA Road Series victory of the season. We've said it a lot this weekend, but that's been the driving motivation for MTSU all weekend long, is to prove any doubters that they may have about their road struggles wrong and show that they can get it done in enemy territory. They already did it yesterday, but can they get it done for the series? We're going to find out today against the Bearcats. We talked about him before we went to break, but Tate Hickman on the mound today for the Sam Houston Bearcats. He's been overall a much better pitcher at home this season. Sophomore out of Chester, Texas, played at Woodville High School, made 18 appearances last year with 3 games started as a true freshman, 30 innings pitched, 28 strikeouts, and got a save in the second game of the year against Missouri State. So he is a very solid pitcher, especially in these sorts of high-pressure situations. And make no mistake, this is a very high-pressure situation. Owen Nowak will lead off for MTSU, the center fielder, as per usual. He'll be followed by Tyler Minnick and Cooper Clapp at the 1, 2, and 3 spots today, which is the exact same way that it was yesterday. In fact, it looks like it's going to be the exact same lineup that we saw in yesterday's game, with the numbers right where they were before. So looks like Jerry Myers and the staff liking what they saw from yesterday's performance, and why wouldn't you? 12 runs scored, 5 home runs. I think that's a pretty solid day if I had to say so myself. And I mentioned this as well in the pregame. It was the most home runs scored by MTSU in a game since 2024, when they had a 5 home run performance against the Liberty Flames. And now they'll hope for similar type of production today against these Bearcats in their orange shirts with white pants. Middle Tennessee with the all-gray/silver look and the beautiful blue lettering on the front. Nowak steps into the batter's box, and we're just about set for the big-time rubber game between the Bearcats and the Blue Raiders from Don Sanders Stadium. So glad you're joining us. Let's get this party started. Hickman's first pitch is upstairs for ball number 1, and the count goes to 1-0 on Owen Nowak, who had a tremendous day yesterday. 3 hits and 2 more runs to his collection, 1 RBI. Top 5 in the conference in runs scored this season. Watches Hickman's pitch come in for a strike. 89 miles per hour on the fastball. Count goes to 1-1. We'll see a lot more fastballs from Hickman in this game. It's his specialty, and he likes to challenge hitters from the mound. Nowak, a high fly ball deep to right field. Back towards the wall and out of here. What a way to start the day. Owen Nowak with a solo shot to give the Raiders a 1-0 lead. Whoa. A monstrous blast here in the early going. Some may say a Texas-sized home run, and the Blue Raiders, just like that, get another home run this weekend. How about that, Mr. Nowak? He wasn't part of the home run party yesterday, but he is happy to join today for MTSU. And just like that, Blue Raiders on the scoreboard. And here's a drive into left field for a base hit. Tyler Minnick says, I've got some stuff to show as well, as he's got a single. MTSU on fire with the bats early on. And Jerry Myers, before the game, talked to the team, and he said to this squad, and of course I'm just paraphrasing, to go out there and have fun. And, well, I'd say they're having a lot of fun so far. And that's what you want to do in the game of baseball. Play loose, play free. Don't think too much about the circumstances. Just take what you can get. Cooper Clapp to the plate. Watches this pitch come in from Hickman, and the count is now 1-0 on a low fastball. But just like that, 2 hits for MTSU on the 2 first batters of the game, one of them being a massive home run shot. Now Clapp at the plate, .324 average on the season, lefty batter. And that's one thing that Hickman is going to have to contend with early on, is the amount of lefties that MTSU has at their disposal. Nowak a lefty batter, as is Clapp. Minnick not, but he's had success as well. Counts 2-0. And this pitch from Hickman, low and inside, count moves to 3-0 on a 90-mile-per-hour fastball. And MTSU challenging this sophomore pitcher early on, trying to make this a quick day. And this pitch looked a little high, but is in for a strike. Count is now at 3-1 on that fastball. Hickman hasn't gone away from it, for better or worse so far. He's given up 21 earned runs this year, but delivers another strike here. to run the count full. And that was just the second home run of the season that Tate Hickman's given up. So he's not one with an affinity for giving up a lot of homers, but Owen Nowak, kind of an exception to the rule. Payoff pitch, swing and a miss, and Tate Hickman will deliver his first strikeout of the day as he gets Cooper Clapp swinging. One down for the Blue Raiders here in the top half of the first inning, and maybe that'll help soothe the nerves a little bit of this sophomore pitcher from Chester, Texas. Here comes Dean O'Neill to the plate. He had a solo home run yesterday in the middle part of the game to help MTSU take what was then a 6-5 lead over Sam Houston. And this pitch is going to get away from the catcher, Marthel Johnny, and moving on to second is Minnick. The pitch was low from Hickman and to the outside. Minnick recognized it immediately, and he'll move into scoring position. Fans still filing into Don Sanders Stadium as we speak here in Huntsville, Texas. Beautiful early afternoon for some college baseball. Very crucial series. Counts at 1-0 for O'Neill. Pitch on the way from Hickman is in for a strike. And the count moves to 1-1 as he delivered a nice fastball. Nowak's homer, by the way, 386 feet, his 7th homer of the season for those curious. Counts at 1-1. O'Neill lets it go by. And the count will be 2 balls and 1 strike. Dean O'Neill, 57 hits on the season, 46 RBIs, 11 doubles, and 11 home runs. Top 10 in the conference in homers. And this pitch from Hickman will be a little bit low, again on the fastball. Probably the quickest fastball he's thrown today at 92. And the count will be 3-1. Dean O'Neill, not one to be intimidated. Senior out of Westchester, Pennsylvania. Faces a 3-1 count. And this pitch just caught the outside corner. Count moves to 3-2. Blue Raiders swept Delaware last weekend at home, tying this series with Sam Houston yesterday. Now trying to get their second straight CUSA Series win. Payoff pitch. O'Neill is going to foul one towards the opposite side. It'll land above the Blue Raider bullpen, and the count will stay full. But as far as starts go, so far, this is about as good of a start as MTSU could ask for. Already up with a solo home run, already got a big hit from Minnick, and now the cleanup man, Dean O'Neill, is trying to add to it. Payoff pitch is high, and O'Neill draws a walk. So Dean O'Neill with a base on balls will make his way over to first base. 2 runners aboard for MTSU, Minnick at second, O'Neill at first, and that will send on Nathan Brewer. The man we talked to in the pregame had a 2 home run performance yesterday, and he's a guy that just gets better and better as the season continues on. We've seen his skill, his ability at the plate progress so well over these past few weeks. Tate Hickman trying to silence him as that's a strike. Count goes to 0-1. And even with the home run already secured, I'm sure MTSU does not want to leave 2 runners stranded on base here. They want to cash in and get an early Mike Tyson uppercut on these Bearcats. Here's a chopper from Brewer to short, picked up by Oliver. Throw to second for 1 out. Throw to first is going to be away from the bag. Coming home is Minnick. He'll score, and running his way to second now, sliding and out is Brewer. All kinds of chaos in the infield, but MTSU takes a 2-0 lead, and the top of the first is over. Minnick scored on the wild throw, and then Brewer tried to take second, and the Bearcats did get that second out, but no matter what, MTSU on top 2-0, and also a solo home run shot from Owen Nowak in the top of the first to get the scoring started. We'll be back in 1 minute here on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner. Don't go anywhere.
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's locker room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition. So step up your style and your spirit, because at Lightning's locker room, the season never slows down, and every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.
Locally grown, Blue Raider proud. This is Jonathan Harmon with the J. Harmon Home Team. As an MTSU alumnus and lifelong Rutherford County resident, I bring the heart of a teacher, the grit of a Blue Raider, and over 15 years of real estate experience to every client. Honest to a fault, connected to the community, and driven to serve. I don't just help you buy or sell, I help you understand every step. The J. Harmon Home Team, where real estate meets real talk.
WGNS, the flagship station for Blue Raider sports.
Blue Raiders on top 2-0 over the Sam Houston Bearcats as we approach the bottom half of the first inning. Dylan Simmons with you, and it was a pretty picturesque start for MTSU, all things considered. Owen Nowak with a leadoff solo home run over the right field fence, and also a run scored on a wild throw from the shortstop Hunter Alvord as he tried to get Nathan Brewer out at first base. He had already gotten one out on Dean O'Neill at second on a ground ball, and then hoped to get the double play, but the throw was wide. Tyler Minnick, who had already made his way to third, then scored, and Brewer decided to try to go for second as the throw went to the MTSU dugout, but a relay was performed, and the ball got to second in time to get Brewer out. So that's how the inning came to a chaotic and somewhat messy end, but the most important thing is that MTSU's on top 2-0, and now Ryan Frandon at the plate, who's already got a couple homers this weekend, to face off with Cole Torbett. And Torbett's first pitch of the day is going to be upstairs. Count goes to 1-0. The southpaw Cole Torbett has been a revelation in his short time with the Blue Raiders this season. 1.23 average and 14 2/3 innings pitched. 1-0 record as this pitch goes to the outside. Count goes to 2-0. And, of course, like I said in the pregame, he was named CUSA Pitcher of the Week following a tremendous 8 2/3 performance against Delaware back on Sunday. And this pitch looked a little high at first, but umpire rules it as a strike. Count goes to 2-1 as Corbett targeted the inside corner on the lefty batter, Ryan Frandon. 2-1 coming up, and this pitch is going to be a little bit to the outside for Torbett, making his 5th appearance of the season. Before the Delaware game, he did not have a performance above 3 innings so far this year, so that was a big departure. Jerry Myers hoping he can do that again, but he delivers ball 4 here, and Ryan Frandon will reach first base on an opening walk. Never how you want to start if you're Cole Torbett, but sometimes it does take a little bit to get settled in. Sometimes as a starting pitcher, you need a couple of batters to get to where you need to be, and that could be the case as well with Tate Hickman, but we'll see if Torbett will be able to be a little bit less giving as far as runs go. And, well, let's see here. The count's going to immediately move to 1-0. Or check it 0-1, actually. Not sure what happened there. Must have been something that Torbett did prematurely. A bunt's going to be laid down, or attempted to be laid down. It's fouled here by the batter Jarrett Curtis, and the count goes to 0-2. Tried to foul it drive it along the third base line, and now Jerry Myers is going to make his way out of the dugout, and he's going to have a conversation with the home plate umpire. Not a long conversation, and thankfully not as animated as the one he had on Friday that ended up getting him thrown out of the game when he argued to call at second base. Count goes to 0-2 on Curtis. Runner at first is still Ryan Frandon. 0-2 pitch, and Curtis tries the bunt again, lays it down. Torbett picks it up, underhand toss to first, and gets the out. So a bit of a transaction bunt for the Bearcats. Curtis out on the 1-3, and advancing to second is Ryan Frandon, one away in the bottom half of the first inning. Cade Corcoran will come to the plate for the Bearcats. And this freshman has been very impressive this weekend for Sam Houston. The freshman out of College Station, Texas, entered the weekend with a .284 average, as well as 22 RBIs and 27 runs, and he started now every game this season, all 42 for the Bearcats, trying to make a instant impact early. This pitch by Torbett on a breaking ball to the outside. Count goes to 1-0. Corcoran with 8 doubles and 5 homers as well this year. Waiting on a 1-0 pitch from Torbett, keeping a close eye at second. Breaking ball by Torbett is high, and the count goes to 2-0. Yesterday, Cade Corcoran had 2 hits with 1 run for the Bearcats. Always a threat at the plate. Got to respect his ability if you're Torbett. This pitch by Torbett is high and tight. Count goes to 3-0. Just like that, Torbett in a little bit of danger here. Could potentially allow Corcoran to first base on a walk, as he did Ryan Frandon just a few moments ago. Frandon looking pretty sporty near second. Torbett is going to deliver ball 4. Just a little bit to the outside as he was trying to go for that outside corner on Corcoran. Corcoran didn't bite. That's 2 walks in the first 3 batters of the game for Cole Torbett and MTSU. So here comes the cleanup man in the order, Nathan Fink, the designated hitter, who was massive yesterday for the Bearcats as he got a 2-run home run. It was his only hit of the day, but it was a big one that put them on top by a score of 5-2. This pitch comes in high. Count goes to 1-0 as it looks like we're going to see Tyler Minnick have a conversation with Cole Torbett here after another high pitch. Probably wants to make sure that his pitcher's in the right frame of mind, calm him down a little bit, make sure that he's where he needs to be. And with all due respect to the Delaware Blue Hens, this Sam Houston team has a little bit more consistency in their batting efforts. And it can be a little bit tougher to keep the ball away from these guys and have it to where that they'll flinch on one of those outside breaking balls. Sam Houston a little more disciplined at the plate. They're putting that to good use right now. I think I misspoke a moment ago as well. Fink's home run yesterday was actually near the start of the game and got Sam Houston an early 2-0 lead. It was a 2-run homer as this pitch comes in. Count goes to 1-1. But no matter when it was, Nathan Fink is obviously a guy that you don't want to mess around with. Good recovery by Torbett on that strike. Took a look back at second. Feigned a throw over there. Cooper Clapp is all over Ryan Frandon, trying to make sure that he doesn't escape his sight. We know that the Bearcats love to steal base. Corcoran and Frandon maybe not the most famous guys on the team for that. 1-1, and here's a line shot deep into left field. On the run and making the catch is Brewer, right in front of the scoreboard for out number 2. What a brilliant job of chasing that ball down by Nathan Brewer, as it was driven deep into left field. Had to come over in a hurry to make the catch, but he did so and denied Fink of what looked for sure to be a base hit. Sean Bazemore will come to the plate. Runner still on first and second, but the Bearcats in danger of having a couple of runners stranded. Bazemore, and here's a drive towards left that's just foul to the line. Just a little bit left of that left field line. Count goes to 0-1. And again, that's another close call for Middle Tennessee. If that ball gets down, it's probably rolling all the way towards that left field corner and could have easily scored both Frandon and Corcoran. Instead, the count at 0-1. Torbett, breaking ball, and this one a little bit low. Count goes to 1-1. At 73 miles per hour against Bazemore, who had a couple of brilliant throws on Friday to deny MTSU base runners. Low pitch by Torbett here. Count goes to 2-1. Those throws from right field got Brett Rogers and Clay Badalak out at second and third respectively, and that last throw on Badalak got Jerry Myers ejected after he argued the call. Counts at 2-1. Here's a chopper up and over the head of Torbett. Badalak picks it up, throws to first, and he just got it there in the nick of time. What a great play. What great awareness by Clay Badalak. It went up and over Torbett. He had to move quickly to get to that baseball, and then off balance got the throw off to first base to get Bazemore out. So that'll do it for the bottom half of the first inning. Bearcats put 2 runners aboard but can't score, and MTSU holds a 2-0 lead. Back for the top of the second in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
At State Farm, when home and auto work as a team, you score and save money. I'm State Farm agent Andy Wama. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let's work together to win big by saving money on home and auto. With the service you get from State Farm, you might think our car insurance costs more. I'm State Farm agent Andy Wama. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let me show you with discounts up to 40%. You may find it even costs less.
At Middle Tennessee Electric, we see the lines that link us all, illuminating our neighborhoods, empowering our businesses, and helping us to recharge. Because we believe in the power of good energy. Whether it comes from our grids, the sun, or a kind heart. And as your family and our region continue to grow, you can trust that we'll always be there for you. Middle Tennessee Electric, bringing good energy.
You're listening to MTSU Sports on WGNS.
Atmos Energy is delighted to sponsor the Blue Raiders and fuel homes and businesses in Middle Tennessee with affordable, efficient, and reliable natural gas. For today and generations to come, natural gas is the smart choice for fueling our energy future. Dylan Simmons with you here in Huntsville, Texas, and your Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders on top of the Sam Houston Bearcats by a score of 2-0, following a pretty fun top of the first for MTSU, all things considered. And fun's been the name of the game as of late for MTSU, especially coming into today's matchup. That is the message that the coaching staff, Jerry Myers, and all the players tried to harp on today, was to make sure to go out there and have fun. Don't think as much about the score. Just go out there and enjoy the game of baseball. And I'm sure they've been enjoying it so far with some of the great plays we've seen both offensively and defensively. Owen Nowak got a solo home run shot over the right field wall. Tyler Minnick scored a run on a throwing error in the top of the first. And now Brett Rogers comes to the plate. Number 6 man in the order due up. 6, 7, and 8 for MTSU against Tate Hickman as he fires in a strike. Count goes to 0-1 on that 87-mile-per-hour fastball. Rogers back in right field. He's got Akers and Von Dolan who will follow after him. Hickman works fast on another fastball but can't find the zone. Count evens at 1-1. Rogers standing in. Yesterday, Brett Rogers had 1 hit and 1 run against the Bearcats. Here's a ground ball to second. Martinez there throws to first, and that will be a 4-3 for out number 1. About the first routine ground out we've seen on the middle side today. One down here in the top half of the second. And that will bring up Lane Akers, who was able to get a big-time solo home run late in yesterday's game to pretty much put an exclamation point on what turned out to be a middle victory. Nobody on base here with Hickman. And his pitch is going to be low on a 79-mile-per-hour breaking ball. Count goes to 1-0. Bearcats looking for win number 9 in CUSA play this year. MTSU looking for their 10th win in conference. And searching for their first CUSA Road Series win since 2024 against Jacksonville State. Feel as though early they've got the chance to do that. Akers swing and a miss. Count goes to 2-1. Dug after that 88-mile-per-hour fastball. Couldn't quite grab it. Akers looking for a signature performance on this Sunday. Swing and a miss again. Once more went after a Hickman fastball and caught nothing but oxygen. Count goes to 2-2. Akers with a .322 average on the season, 38 hits, 21 runs, and now 5 homers. And here's a ground ball to short, thrown on to first for a 6-3 and out number 2. Again, Hickman working fast. Akers looked as though for a second he might have something, but Hunter Alvord quickly moved over, grabbed that ball for the 6-3 and out number 2. So Brett Von Dolan, the man they call Vondo, heads to the plate. Third baseman for MTSU, and that sun, that hot Texas sun, which has been absent for most of the afternoon, finally comes out. Ground ball to third here, thrown on, and getting there in time on that throw was Ryan Frandon, able to get it out to Cade Corcoran for out number 3. A brilliant 5-3 for Sam Houston. Not even sure how that Frandon was able to pull that off, but he did. and that will lead to a 1-2-3 inning for the Bearcats against the Blue Raiders, and the score remains 2-0. Back for the bottom of the second in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
The Blue Raiders are winners in the classroom, on the field, and the courts. Richard Lewis here. I want you to win in real estate also. Buying, selling, auction here in Tennessee, or along the Gulf Coast, a second home, or investing. Give me a call to help start that winning process. 615-319-9981. Oh, I'm never too busy for your referrals. Richard Lewis, Exit Realty, Bob Lamb & Associates.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders.
The Blue Raiders are on News Radio WGNS.
Welcome back here to Don Sanders Stadium in Huntsville, Texas. Dylan Simmons on the call on this Sunday afternoon. Hope you're enjoying your Super Sunday so far. We got a super game here in the rubber match between Middle Tennessee and Sam Houston. Blue Raiders on top 2-0 as we approach the bottom half of the second inning. Sam Houston 1-2-3'd MTSU just a couple moments ago. And now Hunter Alvord, the shortstop, will lead off in this frame, the number 6 man in the order. 6, 7, and 8 due up for the Bearcats against Cole Torbett, who struggled a little bit in the bottom of the first, but got through it well enough. Delivers a strike here, and the count goes to 0-1. Put a couple runners on base with a walk. Frandon and Corcoran to be exact. Torbett fires in an inside breaking ball as the count goes to 2-0. Cole Torbett trying to make the most of this second straight Sunday with a start. You could argue he's the defending, at least, CUSA Pitcher of the Week. Here's a drive into left field, and Brewer ranges over to make the catch. Had to make it right in front of the warning track on that deep shot from Hunter Alvord. Couldn't get enough clearance on it, and that will bring on Ty Marthaljani. First time that we've seen him this weekend for Sam Houston. Working as the catcher today. 6 feet tall, 205 pounds. The senior played from Salina High School and transferred in from Temple College. Enters with a .207 batting average today. 10 RBIs along with 9 runs, 12 hits and 1 home run. Had a season-high 3 hits versus McNeese back on Valentine's Day. 3 RBIs versus Jack State on March 14th, as the count is at 1-0. This ball popped up by Marthaljani, and it's going to land somewhere over the MTSU bullpen as the count evens at 1-1. Not the only Temple College transfer that Sam Houston has on their roster. Of course, we talked a little bit about that yesterday as well, as this pitch comes in a little wide. Count goes to 2-1. Sam Houston was also able to get Zach Johnson from Temple College, who pitched on Friday for the Bearcats. Here's a ground ball to third, picked up by Von Dolan, throws on to first for a 5-3, and that will be out number 2. So it's interesting how the game has kind of followed in patterns as of late. We saw an explosive first inning for MTSU. Sam Houston did their best to respond and was able to get a couple runners on base, and then quiet top of the second for MTSU, and now so far in the bottom of the frame, or bottom of the second, Sam Houston following course. Kirby Orth will come to the plate. Left fielder back at it again today with 2 outs, and he showed bunt for a second, pulled back. That's a strike. Count goes to 0-1. Great fastball by Torbett. Yesterday for Sam Houston, Kirby Orth ended up getting 1 hit and 1 run against the Blue Raiders. Had an RBI single on Friday. Counts 0-1 here. Torbett, low breaking ball. Count evens at 1 ball, 1 strike. And as I was saying in the top of the second, that hot Texas sun has reappeared, and that could wear down the energy of some of these players a little bit quicker. it had been overcast all morning. High fastball from Torbett. Count goes to 2-1. Luckily for the Bearcats and the Blue Raiders, they're not wearing their black uniforms today, which would not be fun out here in the hot Texas sun, I'd imagine. Counts at 2-1. Torbett, a little bit low on that fastball, and the count will go to 3 balls and 1 strike. Cole Torbett trying to avoid giving up what would be his 3rd walk of this game, as he issues a 3-1, and that's low for ball 4. So Kirby Orth works a 5-pitch walk against Cole Torbett with 2 outs and makes his way over to first base. Jace Martinez will come to the plate, second baseman for the Bearcats, with his first at-bat of this game. Martinez did not have a hit yesterday, went 0 for 3, but did reach base on a walk. Steps into the box here is the 9-hole hitter. 2 away, runner on first. Torbett looking for a response, places that pitch inside. Count goes to 1-0. Got to admire the great support that the Sam Houston Bearcats have. A lot of fans have made their way out on all 3 days. That's been fun to see. Of course, there have been several MTSU fans here as Torbett fires in a pitch for a strike. And they gave the team a nice ovation following yesterday's victory as they made their way back to the bus. And it was greatly appreciated. Count at 1-1. This pitch is inside, and the count now moves to 2 balls and 1 strike as Torbett went back to the breaking ball. By the way, the bus that I talked about a little bit earlier on Friday, still back there deep in right center field, so I'm just waiting to see if any home run this weekend gets close to it. Here is a ground ball up the middle past Torbett for a base hit. And that will be a big-time single with 2 outs for Jace Martinez. And it went right under the feet of Cole Torbett as it made its way into center field. 2 aboard for the Bearcats, and that will send on Ryan Frandon. That's not the kind of dancing that Cole Torbett wants to do. Frandon reached on a walk his last time up, and for the 2nd straight inning, the Bearcats have put a couple runners on base. Came up empty back in the bottom half of the 1st. We'll see if the 2nd inning has any sort of different result. Torbett trying to say not so fast as he fires in a strike. Count goes to 0-1 on an off-speed pitch. And believe it or not, that's the first hit that Sam Houston has gotten today, despite putting 4 guys on base in this game. 0-1. High curveball, too high for Torbett. Count goes to 1-1. He's tried that curveball out quite a bit against Sam Houston to mixed success so far. 1-1 pitch coming up to Frandon. And here's a ball chopped towards the MTSU dugout foul. Counts 1-2. I sometimes wonder for a pitcher in this situation if your last performance and how great you did makes it to where you apply a little bit more pressure on yourself. Even if you don't mean to, it may just be a natural thing because of the standard you think you set last time. Going to be curious to see how Torbett responds. Here's a fly ball deep into left field. Brewer back towards the track, and he can't make the catch. It bounces off the wall. 1 run scores. Martinez around third. He'll score as well, and it is a bases-clearing RBI double for Ryan Frandon. The man who's been dynamic all weekend long with a 2-run double to tie this game in the bottom half of the 2nd. Brewer did everything he could to try to capture that baseball as it made its way towards the wall, and he just could not make the catch. It was right out of his grip and then crashed off the wall to where both Orth and Martinez were able to score. Now Jarrett Curtis comes to the plate in this tie game. Pitch is high, and the count goes to 1-0 off the arm of Torbett. So the Bearcats getting that explosiveness that MTSU had in the top of the 1st. Now they've found it. And it looks as though this could be a game of answers. Ground ball to Badalak, throws on to first, and that will be a needed out number 3. But it is One batter too late for MTSU as Ryan Frandon delivers a game-changing RBI double deep into left field, and we're all knotted up after 2 innings. 2-2 is your score. Back in 1 minute here on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's locker room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition. So step up your style and your spirit, because at Lightning's locker room, the season never slows down, and every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.
Hey Blue Raider fans, this is Brad Hopkins with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates. Winning in real estate is a lot like football. Good coaching and recruiting a great team are the keys. I put together a team of lenders, inspectors, and home professionals to help you succeed. Let me coach you through this process and make sure you come out a winner. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, I am here to help you win. Visit BradHopkinsHomes.com or call 615-556-9239 to find out more.
Rutherford County's MTSU station, News Radio WGNS.
Welcome back to hot Huntsville, Texas. Dylan Simmons on the call at Don Sanders Stadium on this Sunday afternoon. And we've got some hot action on the baseball field, all tied up at 2 runs apiece between the Blue Raiders and the Bearcats. A bases-clearing RBI double just a moment ago from Ryan Frandon knotted this game up at 2 runs apiece. And now MTSU will have to see if they can answer in this top half of the 3rd inning as Clay Badalak will come to the plate for his first at-bat of the contest. Badalak, the shortstop for MTSU. Number 9, number 1, and number 2 due up in the order for the Blue Raiders as they face off once again with Tate Hickman. Had a bit of a rough start in the top of the first as he gave up a solo home run to Owen Nowak, and then a throwing error by the Bearcats infield allowed for Tyler Minnick to score. And now MTSU trying to regain momentum and the lead as Hickman tries to settle in and fires in a strike. Count evens at 1-1. But I think what that second inning showed is that this is going to be a game of responses, and whoever responds better will win. Fly ball to left field, and that will be roped down by Kirby Orth for out number 1. Looked promising at first for Badalak. Needed a little bit more distance to clear the wall, and it did not. So 1 down in the top of the 3rd. But here's a man who's already cleared that wall once today. The wall in right field, to be specific. Owen Nowak to the plate. Got a solo home run shot to lead off this game back in the top half of the 1st inning. Pitch on the way from Hickman, and a nice high fastball for a strike. Count goes to 0-1. Owen Nowak, top 5 in both walks forced and runs scored this season. Watches that pitch come in low. Count goes to 1-1. And the junior out of Franksville, Wisconsin, has made himself right at home in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and is trying to do the same here today in Huntsville, Texas. Here's a ground ball towards the right side, picked up by the first baseman Corcoran, throws onto Hickman, and they're able to get the out. Just barely was able to beat out Owen Nowak for a 1-3. And that will bring on Tyler Minnick. 3-1, I should say, actually, as it was the first baseman who grabbed it first, but Hickman was in on the play. So 2 away here in the top half of the 3rd inning. Minnick will come on. Got a single immediately after Nowak's home run back in the top half of the 1st inning. 2 away. Nobody on base. Pitch by Hickman. High and inside for ball number 1. Talked to Minnick yesterday on our pregame show. Super enthusiastic about Game 2 and his team's chances, and he was proven to be correct in that assumption. And here is a drive towards left. Ground ball picked up by the shortstop and thrown on to first base for a 6-3. Hunter Alvord able to get out Tyler Minnick. And for the second straight frame, the Blue Raiders are 1-2-3'd, and the score will stay tied at 2 runs apiece. Back for the bottom of the 3rd in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity that could have changed your life. Maybe you're just graduating high school or are working and need to earn a degree to advance your career. Or you aspire to be a leader, and a graduate degree can make that happen. Whether you're just starting out or retooling for the future, Middle Tennessee State University can help you get there. MTSU, the University of Opportunities.
Will Fraley, attorney at law, has experience you can count on. Former Blue Raider baseball player and MTSU alum Will Fraley serves Murfreesboro and the surrounding communities. Put a strong and experienced legal fighter on your case. Give Will Fraley a call and he can handle all of your legal matters, including criminal and domestic or family law. Visit willfraleylaw.com or call 615-410-7290.
The Blue Raiders play here. News Radio WGNS.
Welcome back here to Don Sanders Stadium, home of the Sam Houston Bearcats. Still in Simmons with you, and this is Blue Raider baseball on a Sunday afternoon. The rubber match here in Conference USA between the Bearcats and the Blue Raiders is off to an exciting start, with MTSU tied with Sam Houston by a score of 2-2-2. And that's a lot of twos, I know. Cade Corcoran will come to the plate, 3, 4, and 5, due up in the order for the Bearcats. Corcoran, Nathan Fink, and Sean Bazemore. Corcoran reached on a walk his last time up against Torbett, who's trying to make sure that he doesn't give Sam Houston any more momentum after they grabbed it in a big way off the bat of Ryan Frandon. Bases clearing RBI double in the bottom of the second, tied the game for Sam Houston, and got us to our current 2-2 score. Pitch by Torbett, going to be low. Count goes to 1-0. Blue Raiders have played 3 teams on the road in CUSA outside of Sam Houston. Started off going on the road against Missouri State, lost that series in Springfield, as that's fouled towards the Blue Raider dugout. Counts 1-1. Got swept in that series, then had to go play Jacksonville State on the road. Had a couple of close games, but ultimately got swept there, and then didn't have the offensive power they needed when they played Louisiana Tech a couple weekends ago. Lost that one as well, as that's a swing and a miss for Corcoran. Count goes to 1-2. But this weekend has been different. The bats have shown up in a big way these last couple games so far. Pitching has been consistent. Now they're trying to finish things off on this Sunday afternoon. Counts at 1-2. And here is a drive into right center field for a base hit. Cade Corcoran answers the call and gets a big-time leadoff single for the Bearcats. Up and over the head of the second baseman, Cooper Clapp, who tried to jump to make a play on it, but there was no grabbing that ball out of the air. And the Bearcats bats, again, take a bite out of the Blue Raiders once again. Their third hit on Cole Torbett, and that will send on Nathan Fink. Fink flew a ball out to left field his first time up. Right now has Corcoran over at first. Torbett takes a look there and tries a pickoff on Corcoran. Unsuccessful. First time we've seen Torbett do that today. Corcoran has stolen 4 bases this season, has been caught stealing twice. It's not as dynamic as some of the other Bearcat base runners, which we've seen them put that base running ability to good use both yesterday and on Friday, and help them to secure a win on Friday and make it close on Saturday. No outs. Another pitch to Fink is going to be low. Count goes to 1-0. Nathan Fink talked about what he did yesterday. On Friday for Sam Houston, Fink went 0 for 4 against MTSU. 1-0 pitch, and here's a drive right to the left fielder. Brett Von Dolan makes the catch, and that will be out number 1. So Von Dolan, the third baseman, beg your pardon, able to make that catch and get the line out on Nathan Fink, and it was hit right to him. No issue whatsoever for Von Dolan, and that will send on Sean Bazemore. Runner at first is still Corcoran, but that is certainly a big help for MTSU, and that was great awareness by Brett Von Dolan to be right there to make the catch on that line shot. This pitch comes in low. Count goes to 1-0. Bazemore grounded out to short his last time up. Has Corcoran waiting at first base. Torbett keeping a close eye over there. And here's a softly hit ball right back to Torbett. Throws to first, and that will be out number 2. So for all intents and purposes, it is a swinging bunt. A 1-3 that will take out Bazemore, but does advance Corcoran on to second. 2 away here in the bottom half of the third inning. So Hunter Ulver, the shortstop, comes to the plate. Lined one out to Nathan Brewer his last time up. Bearcats have gotten a base runner on in every single inning so far. Didn't score in the first, took advantage in the second. Will they be able to match it in the third? Excuse me, as that pitch comes inside to Alford. Count goes to 1-0. He's been a pretty dynamic shortstop all weekend. Has done a good job defensively. Hasn't been the most consistent batter, but has contributed. Had 1 hit and 1 run yesterday. Now trying to get his first hit of the day today. Here's a throwback to second. Trying to get a pickoff on Corcoran. Unsuccessful. As Corcoran just got back in the nick of time. Count goes to 1-0. Bearcats trying to seize the momentum that they took in full stride back in the second inning. MTSU trying to shut it down with Torbett. Counts at 1-0. This fastball comes in a little bit low. Count goes to 2-0. Torbett trying to size up Ulver on that pitch. Ulver didn't bite. And this is where that chess match dynamic between batter and pitcher comes into full play. Counts at 2-0. This ball fouled up above the netting and the press box here at Don Sanders Stadium. Count moves to 2-1. Cole Torbett, in his previous appearances this season, had his first one against Southern Indiana back on March 31st. Went 1 inning. Went 3 innings against Jack State on April 3rd. 2 innings against Louisiana Tech on April 12th. 8 2/3 against Delaware last Sunday. 2-1. Here's a high fly ball into left center field. Brewer wants it, and he will camp underneath it to make the catch for out number 3. So that will do it for the third inning. Bearcats do get 1 runner to second base, Cade Corcoran, but are unable to get the lead in this contest. We remain tied at 2-2. Back for the top of the fourth in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
Hey folks, it's Chip Walters from Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates, helping Middle Tennessee make smart moves in a fast-moving market. Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, you deserve someone who knows this community and treats your goals like their own. From first-timers to long-time homeowners, I'm here to guide you with clarity, confidence, and a steady hand. When you're ready to make the next move, start with someone you trust. Visit choosechip.net and let's make your 2026 move the right move.
WGNS, the flagship station for Blue Raider sports.
Welcome back to Don Sanders Stadium in Huntsville, Texas. Dylan Simmons on the call, and we've reached the top half of the fourth inning between the Sam Houston Bearcats and your Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders, all tied up at 2 runs apiece. MTSU gave up a single to Cade Corcoran in the bottom half of the third, but didn't allow him to get past second. And as a result, the game remains tied, and MTSU with a chance to take the lead right back away. Tyler Minnick was unsuccessful and grounded out to short his last time up, so it brings on Cooper Clapp to start off this top of the fourth. 3-4-5 due up in the order for MTSU. Is Tate Hickman still on the mound Fires in a pitch wide. Count goes to 1-0. Hickman gave up a solo home run to Owen Nowak in the top of the first and a single to Tyler Minnick. Has somewhat cooled things off since then. Did allow one more run, but not really his fault. It was on a throwing error by the Bearcats infield. Otherwise, MTSU has been scoreless since. 1-1. Pitch to the outside here on Clapp. On an 87-mile-per-hour fastball from Hickman. Count goes to 2-1. Hickman's a guy that likes to work fast, as we've seen so far in this game. 2-1 pitch, and it's a high and tight fastball for ball 3. And, of course, Cooper Clapp, no stranger to forcing walks this season, would be more than happy to force another one. Had a season-high 4 hits versus Belmont back on April 14th, and 3 RBIs versus New Mexico State on March 27th. And this pitch is outside for ball 4. Good work by Cooper Clapp as he forces a 5-pitch walk to start things off in the top half of the 4th inning, and he'll make his way over to first base to bring on Dean O'Neill. O'Neill worked a walk his last time up. Tate Hickman so far in this game has issued a total of 2 walks. The second was from Clapp a second ago, and of course the first was from O'Neill. So these 2 guys have found some magic there, but a swing and a miss as O'Neill was going for the fences on that fastball. Count goes to 0-1. And I think as far as guys who read pitches and understand opportunities to strike on this team, O'Neill's probably among the best of them. He just has a knack for knowing when it's time to be aggressive. 0-1 as he watches that pitch go by for a strike, kind of hesitated as he looked to swing. Ended up not doing so, but it was a strike anyway. Quickly, the count moves to 0-2, and Hickman trying to finish off Dean O'Neill. 0-2 pitch. O'Neill, high chopper, right back to the mound. Throw to second by Hickman for 1 out. Throw to first is not going to be in time. O'Neill just got to first base on the fielder's choice, but Clapp is out at second, 1 away here in the top half of the 4th inning. That was a very close play at first base, and it's fortunate for O'Neill that he hit the ball where he did. Not a bad decision by Hickman as the ball was chopped right to him. Ended up throwing it to second to get the out. And then the throw to first was just about in time, but O'Neill just able to use enough speed. So still a runner on base as Nathan Brewer comes to the plate. Had an odd sequence last time he was up to the plate. Chops this one towards the Blue Raider dugout foul. Counts 0-1. Ended up batting the ball into the field of play. Watched an out be delivered to O'Neill at second. Then watched the throw come into first wide. And from that, MTSU scored a run, and then Brewer decided to go for second. Didn't make it in time, and the inning was over. Here's a fly ball over towards left field, racing after it, and just watching it fall down in front of him is Orth. And that is a foul ball, just barely. Or is it? No, I think they're going to say that's a fair ball. They called it a fair ball, and then it bounced over the wall, so that's going to be a ground rule double for Nathan Brewer, and runners at second and third for MTSU. That was a very bizarre play. Orth kind of just watched it from left field, and then it apparently came down in the field of play, and MTSU with 2 runners in scoring position. I'm not sure I've seen something like that quite before. I don't know if Orth just thought it was going to go foul or what, but the way he reacted kind of stumped everybody. So Brett Rogers comes to the plate, and he will chop one on the right side. Here's a throw to first. There was some hesitation by Hickman as he looked to throw home, decided not to. O'Neill scores, and MTSU extends the lead to 3-0 with 2 outs. And that was a poor decision, I think, by Hickman. I understand in that spot that you want to make sure you can get an out, but because he hesitated, it allowed O'Neill to score. Brewer advances to third. Rogers was out at first, and now there's 2 away with the Blue Raiders lead at 3-0. So we've seen some odd circumstances take place to give MTSU this 3-0 lead. First, the very odd ground rule double off the bat of Nathan Brewer, and then a very odd ground out on Brett Rogers that scores Dean O'Neill. So the count is now 1-1, and MTSU has the lead. 3-2 with Akers at the plate. Brewer waiting at third. 1-1 pitch by Hickman. And he did, just for a moment, think about throwing it to home plate. I thought he was going to, but then kind of just hesitated and turned back to first. I just wonder what compelled him to make that choice. Counts at 2-1. Brewer will foul this one towards the left side. Or Akers, beg your pardon. Count goes to 2-2. And I'm sure Nathan Brewer, off of that odd-looking hit, didn't expect to, at the end of the day, be standing at third, but that's where he's at. 2-2 pitch with 2 outs coming up to Akers. Here's a high chopper fouled towards the Bearcats' dugout. But most importantly for MTSU, you've got to take advantage of the moments and the circumstances that you're given, and that's what they've done to a tremendous degree so far, even though it's been very odd. Counts at 2-2. Akers lets the pitch go by, and it was a good choice. High off-speed pitch brings the count full at 3-2. So a payoff pitch coming up for Lane Akers as he's trying to follow up on Brett Rogers' RBI just a moment ago and bring home Brewer. Akers chops it right past Kevin Nichols near the third base line, and he tried to grab it but couldn't. So count stays full at 3-2 once again. Payoff pitch is coming up. Maybe the biggest one of the day so far for MTSU. 3-2. Akers swing and a miss, and Tate Hickman will end the top of the fourth with a strikeout swinging on Akers. But MTSU does play to run on an odd ground out from Brett Rogers. He gets the RBI, Dean O'Neill scores, and MTSU's on top by a score of 3-2. Back for the bottom of the fourth in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro.
Can we do a legal ID after this break?
All of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders.
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's locker room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition. So step up your style and your spirit, because at Lightning's locker room, the season never slows down, and every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.
You're listening to MTSU Sports on WGNS.
Welcome back here to the Blue Raider Network and WGNS. Dylan Simmons with you this afternoon. And your Blue Raiders on top of the Sam Houston Bearcats by a score of 3-2 after a very odd top half of the fourth inning. Saw one of the most bizarre ground rule doubles I've ever seen. Dean O'Neill ended up scoring on a very odd ground out in which the pitcher Tate Hickman hesitated, didn't throw home, instead went for first base. And MTSU, as a result of all of that, gets the lead. Now they got to try to protect it as Ty Marthaljani, the number 7 man in the order, comes to the plate, followed by Kirby Orth and Jace Martinez. 7-8-9 due up against Cole Torbett, who fires in this pitch a little bit wide. Count goes to 1-0. Cole Torbett, through three innings so far, has given up 2 earned runs with 3 walks issued. No strikeouts yet. Counts at 0-1. Marthaljani watches this pitch come in too far to the inside. Count will move to 2 balls and no strikes. Blue Raiders finding unorthodox ways to score. They also scored on a throwing error earlier in the game, creating their own luck, so to speak. But Torbett not lucky right now. That's ball number 3, as again it went too far to the inside. Trying to avoid allowing Sam Houston with another runner on base. They've gotten a runner on base in every inning so far. Torbett does deliver a strike, and the count moves to 3-1. Home plate umpire today is Jareel Proctor. Matthew Herrera is at first base, and Archer Flores Pareda is at third for our umpiring crew. Ground ball to third, picked up by Von Dolan, throws on to first, and that will be a 5-3 for out number 1. So that was a good recovery from Torbett, and MTSU taking what was a 3-0 count and getting a ground out of it on Marthel-Johnny. Kirby Orth will come to the plate for the Bearcats, the number 8 man in the order. Both teams with 3 hits so far in this contest. MTSU with a 3-2 lead. All sorts of drama so far in this rubber match, if you needed any reminder of that circumstance. This pitch going to be a little bit outside. Count goes to 1-0. Blue Raiders are 22-21 right now. 9-11 in conference play. Can get win number 10 in CUSA this year with a win today. But here is a drive into right field for a base hit from Kirby Orth, and he's got a 1-out single. That was a good piece of hitting by Orth. Got it right through the 4-3 hole, past Clapp and O'Neill. And that shot into shallow right field will send on Jace Martinez, who got a single of his own the last time he was up to bat. Right up the middle, past Cole Torbett, as a matter of fact, right below his feet, basically. Bearcats would then follow up with a Ryan Frandon RBI double after the fact that would tie the game. MTSU doesn't want to get that kind of deja vu. Torbett takes a look at first towards Orth and can't quite get him. Orth has now reached base twice in this game, reached on a walk back in the second. Now a single here in the fourth. Martinez, the second baseman, watches this pitch come in from Torbett, and he delivers a nice breaking ball for a strike. Count goes to 0-1. Staying over at first here is Orth. As Torbett going to go with a high breaking ball. That'll move the count to 1-1 against Jace Martinez. Orth has stolen 3 bases this season, by the way, but still not the most prolific base stealer that the Bearcats have at their disposal. 1-1 pitch, as this one is placed in high by Torbett. Count goes to 2-1. 78-mile-per-hour breaking ball. Torbett does not yet have a strikeout in this game, but he's always threatening to do so for MTSU. Had 6 strikeouts against Delaware last weekend in his 8 2/3 performance against the Blue Hens. I'm sure if it was up to him, he'd go the complete game here today. Not sure if that'll be possible. Counts 2-1. Here's a ground ball to short, rocketed to Badalak. There's 1 out at second, throw to first, in time for the double play. 6-4-3, and MTSU slams the door right on the Bearcats' face. Score remains 3-2. Hey, while we've got a moment, folks, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification here on WGNS.
The flagship station for Middle Tennessee sports, WGNS. Murfreesboro, Smyrna. The Blue Raiders play here.
We'll be back in 1 minute for the top half of the 5th inning. MTSU on top 3-2 over the Bearcats on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Locally grown, Blue Raider proud. This is Jonathan Harmon with the J. Harmon Home Team. As an MTSU alumnus and lifelong Rutherford County resident, I bring the heart of a teacher, the grit of a Blue Raider, and over 15 years of real estate experience to every client. Honest to a fault, connected to the community, and driven to serve. I don't just help you buy or sell, I help you understand every step. The J. Harmon Home Team, where real estate meets real talk.
At State Farm, when home and auto work as a team, you score and save money. I'm State Farm agent Andy Wama. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let's work together to win big by saving money on home and auto. With the service you get from State Farm, you might think our car insurance costs more. I'm State Farm agent Andy Wama. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let me show you with discounts up to 40%. You may find it even costs less.
The Blue Raiders are on News Radio WGNS.
With nearly 200 majors and concentrations for undergrads and more than 100 graduate programs, of which I'm a part of one, Middle Tennessee State University has something for everyone, including more than 50 online degrees. Do you want high-quality, affordable education? It's not too late to apply. Learn more at mtsu.edu. Blue Raiders on top of the Sam Houston Bearcats by a score of 3-2. Dylan Simmons with you here on this Sunday afternoon. MTSU trying to take the rubber match against the Bearcats. Brett Von Dolan will lead off this frame for MTSU, and he smokes the ball past third base, and they're going to say it's a foul ball just barely. I thought for a second that was fair. It was very close at the bag, but third base umpire made the call and denied Brett Von Dolan of what would have surely been an extra base hit. Seen a couple of odd plays over there in that shallow left field area today. As this pitch gets by Von Dolan, count goes to 1-1. Blue Raiders on top by a score of 3-2, trying to add to the lead. Von Dolan grounded out to third his last time up, pops this one up in the infield. Third baseman Frandon wants it and comes up to make the catch for out number 1. So that's a little bit of a punch to the gut for Von Dolan. Looked like he had a surefire extra base hit, but instead the ball missed the third base bag, and then he pops it up to Frandon for the first out of the 5th inning. Clay Badalak will come to the plate. Flew a ball out to left back in the 3rd inning. Has had a pretty good weekend so far, all things considered. Yesterday for MTSU, Badalak was able to get a hit with 2 runs. Got a couple hits on Friday as well, so already a 3-hit weekend for Badalak. In his 3rd year with MTSU, counts at 1-0. This pitch by Hickman is low. Badalak originally transferred in from Frontier Community College. He's out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Entered the weekend with a 160 average. Took home a few Raiders' Choice Awards last year as well, including Male Breakout Athlete of the Year. And he, who knows, maybe up for some more RCAs coming up this week. Make sure you stay tuned for all the information on that. Counts at 3-0. There's a strike for Hickman to stop what would have been a potential walk for Clay Badalak. I believe that RCA show is on Thursday if you're curious. Should be a live stream of it. Counts at 3-1. And there's strike 2. So the count will move full on Clay Badalak, and this is a good recovery for Tate Hickman after he had Badalak at a 3-0 count. Payoff pitch coming up for the lefty batter. 3-2. Badalak delivers a fly ball into shallow right center for a base hit, and Badalak will stop at first base with a 1-out single. A really nice piece of hitting by Clay Badalak. Like we said, I've described him as sneaky good, and he's had a sneaky good weekend. That is his 4th hit against the Bearcats, and the Blue Raiders have a runner aboard against Tate Hickman. So we go back to the top of the order, and on comes Owen Nowak. Already a solo home run shot today. Grounded out on a 3-1 back in the 3rd inning, and now trying to do some damage here in the top of the 5th against Hickman. Here's a ground ball to second. Martinez picks it up. Out at second is Badalak. Nowak advances on to first on a fielder's choice, so there will be no double play. But there are now 2 away here in the top half of the 5th inning, so Badalak will be retired. Nowak at first. Tyler Minnick will come to the plate. And I thought for a second that would be the perfect setup for a double play, but instead Nowak used his speed, which we've talked a lot about, to keep the inning alive, at least for the moment. Minnick to the plate, watches Hickman's pitch go by, counts at 1-0. We've seen some creative and fun baseball already in this afternoon's matchup, and I'd say we're far from done with what these two teams have doled out today. Here's Minnick, softly hit ball to short, picked up and thrown to second for out number 3. So that'll do it for the top half of the 5th inning. Blue Raiders come up empty against the Bearcats, and on to the bottom of the 5th we go. MTSU up 3-2, back in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
At Middle Tennessee Electric, we see the lines that link us all, illuminating our neighborhoods, empowering our businesses, and helping us to recharge. Because we believe in the power of good energy. Whether it comes from our grids, the sun, or a kind heart. And as your family and our region continue to grow, you can trust that we'll always be there for you. Middle Tennessee Electric, bringing good energy.
The Blue Raiders are winners in the classroom, on the field, and the courts. Richard Lewis here. I want you to win in real estate also. Buying, selling, auction here in Tennessee, or along the Gulf Coast, a second home, or investing. Give me a call to help start that winning process. 615-319-9981. Oh, I'm never too busy for your referrals. Richard Lewis, Exit Realty, Bob Lamb & Associates.
Rutherford County's MTSU station, News Radio WGNS.
3-2 is your score here in this matchup on the Blue Raider Network. Middle Tennessee on top of the Sam Houston Bearcats at Don Sanders Stadium as we approach the bottom half of the fifth inning. Dylan Simmons with you, and what's been a very entertaining game thus far. Very back and forth, very competitive, and no one team has been able to get a huge bit of separation in this contest. Seems like whenever one team's had an answer, the other team comes right back with their own. However, MTSU has maintained a one-run lead since the top half of the fourth inning, and will look to keep that going against Sam Houston in this bottom of the fifth, with Cole Torbett still on the mound after 4 innings of work, facing off here with Ryan Frandon, a man who's been very dangerous this weekend for the Bearcats. Already has a couple of home runs, got a big-time 2-run double in his last at-bat, and now leading off proceedings in the bottom half of the fifth inning as Tyler Minnick adjusts his face mask behind the plate. Counts at 1-0, so Torbett has to be wary of what Frandon can do. Frandon's 2-run home run yesterday against Gavin King late was the lone dark spot on what was otherwise a near flawless performance for King on his way to a victory. Counts at 2-0 for Torbett. And Frandon got a solo home run shot on Chandler Alderman in game number 1. So he's had some success to some degree against every single pitcher that MTSU has doled out this weekend, at least for the most part. There's a strike. Count goes to 3-1. Torbett trying to avoid issuing another walk. He's already walked Frandon once in this game and has given up 3 total. 3-1 pitch, and that'll be the second walk issued to Ryan Frandon in this contest. A 5-pitch walk worked by the third baseman, and the tying run is at first base for the Bearcats. Jarek Curtis will come to the plate. Center fielder has grounded out twice, grounded out to short his last time up in the second inning. Trying to spring forward Ryan Frandon. Of course, Curtis came into the weekend leading in several categories for Sam Houston, but hasn't had the most success against MTSU this weekend for whatever reason. He was the team leader in batting average, hits, and doubles entering the series. .315 average today with 47 hits and 28 runs. And here's a fly ball that gets down into left field and goes over the wall for a ground rule double. Runners at second and third for the Bearcats, and it's the second time today we've seen a ground rule double. One from each side now, as that ball bounced off the turf in left field up over the wall, and that may have been the best thing that could have happened for MTSU, because if that ball had stayed inside the ballpark, Ryan Frandon probably would have scored. So instead, runners at second and third on another extra base hit for the Bearcats, with Curtis at second base and Frandon at third, and now Cade Corcoran to the plate, and the chance to take the lead is very much there for Sam Houston with no outs. Torbett, curveball driven into right field for a base hit. Coming home and scoring is Frandon. Curtis around third. He will score as well. And it's a 2-run RBI single to give Sam Houston the lead by the freshman, Cade Corcoran. 4-3 Bearcats, and Cade Corcoran with a beautiful shot into right field has given Sam Houston their first lead in this game. And we said it at the top of the broadcast, this would be a game of answers, and that was a massive answer for Sam Houston. their second 2 RBI hit today. Nathan Fink will come to the plate as Tyler Minnick wants to talk things over with Cole Torbett. That's a gut punch to give up as a pitcher, but it's one that Sam Houston put together with a nice sequence of hitting. And now we have to wonder, how long will that leash be on Cole Torbett in this bottom half of the 5th inning with already 4 innings thrown in this contest? There is action in the Blue Raider bullpen, so we'll be keeping a close eye on that. But I have to imagine that Jerry Myers will be keeping a very close eye on this situation to see if he needs to potentially make a pitching change on Torbett. You do not want to give up any more runs in this bottom half of the 5th to further spring Sam Houston, and here comes Myers. Going to make his way out of the dugout and at least have a conversation with Cole Torbett. And it looks like they are going to make a call to the MTSU bullpen, it appears. So we'll see a new pitcher make his way out in just a moment as Cole Torbett's day, it appears, will come to an end after 4 innings of work and 4 earned runs given up. Not a bad performance, but Sam Houston able to challenge him late. So we'll take a 1-minute timeout here on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner and find out who the new pitcher is for MTSU.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders!
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's locker room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition. So step up your style and your spirit, because at Lightning's locker room, the season never slows down, and every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.
The Blue Raiders play here. News Radio WGNS.
Back here in Huntsville, Texas, and MTSU making their first pitching change of the day. And it's a man we've already seen once this weekend. Landon Birch is back on the bump. Entered the weekend with a 3.90 ERA, a 4-3 record, and 30 innings pitched for the senior out of Corning, New York. Pitched on Friday against Sam Houston. Had 1 inning with 1 hit given up and no earned runs and no runs period. Did issue 1 walk to Sam Houston. And Jerry Myers making the call here on the Sunday rubber match to see if he can calm down this Sam Houston flurry that we've seen in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Just a few moments ago, Cade Corcoran got a big-time 2-run single to give Sam Houston a 4-3 advantage here at Don Sanders Stadium. So the key for Birch right now is what I'll call damage control. Make sure that Sam Houston does not add on to their 1-run lead and keep this game at hand. Nathan Fink will be at the plate, the first man that Birch will have to contend with. Fink flew a ball out to left field his last time up and lined a ball to third base to Brett Von Dolan back in the 3rd inning. So how will Birch handle this with Corcoran at first and no outs? Fink showed bunt for a moment as that pitch goes above his head. Count goes to 1-0. So Cole Torbett's day comes to an end at 4 innings pitched with 4 walks issued, no strikeouts, and 4 earned runs, but still looks solid in his starting outing today. Counts at 1-0. Fink will foul off this high fastball towards the Blue Raider bullpen. Count moves to 1-1. And right now, all the momentum has been seized by Sam Houston, but it's been a game of runs so far. We saw that yesterday as well. MTSU was down 5-2 at one point, ended up coming back to win by 4 runs. So no reason to panic on either side. 1-1, Fink swing and a miss. Count goes to 1-2. A really nice breaking ball delivered by Landon Birch to bring the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. And now Birch trying to finish the job against the Bearcats right here. Had 2 innings pitched last year in Game 1 against Sam Houston with 2 strikeouts and no earned runs as well. Very familiar. 1-2. Here's a line shot into left field by Fink for a base hit. It rolls all the way to Brewer, who will stop it, but runners at first and second for Sam Houston. That is 3 hits in a row for the Bearcats. Jarrett Curtis had the ground rule double. Kate Corcoran had the 2-run single, and now Nathan Fink with a single into left field. Sean Bazemore will come to the plate, but this is turning into a very troublesome inning for MTSU. Bazemore 0 for 2 on the day so far. Grounded out to short back in the first, grounded out to Torbett in the third. And right now he's trying to pick up where Fink left off just a moment ago. Bearcats are itching to extend this 1-run lead, because you know in a game like this, 1 run is probably not going to be enough of an advantage to sit on for too long. But MTSU does not want to turn this into a disaster inning. Birch taking a close look at second base, then fires in the pitch. A bunt attempted by Bazemore. He fouls it back towards the backstop. Count goes to 1-1. And of course, with Birch already having an inning under his belt this weekend, not entirely at full strength, but still doesn't have a tremendous amount of wear and tear you'd imagine, as time is called by Bazemore. Wants to talk things over with one of the members of his staff. Today, the rubber match between the Bearcats and MTSU, series tied at 1-1. Sam Houston won 6-3 on Friday after being up 6-0 for a large part of the game. MTSU rallied in the top of the ninth to make it very interesting, but didn't have enough. And then yesterday, MTSU pulled away late with a tremendous top half of the ninth to secure a 12-8 win. And now trying to clinch their first CUSA Road Series win since 2024 against Sam Houston this afternoon, but facing some trouble here. Counts at 1-1 to Bazemore. Going to try the bunt again, lays it down along the third base line, picked up by Birch, throws to first, and does get the out on Sean Bazemore. So that will be out number 1 here in this bottom half of the 5th inning, but it advances the runners to second and third, so all things considered, that is a pretty fair trade-off, I'd say, for Sam Houston, but still a good job by Birch to pick that thing up and quickly heave it to first base to get the out. Hunter Alvord will come to the plate. Shortstop just needs to drill one into the outfield at the very least to get a run in, with this 1 out being all that's on the board. And that pitch by Birch almost got away from Tyler Minnick. He just barely was able to collect it before we saw Corcoran take off from third. He was eager to do it as well, but he was held back not just by Minnick, but also by his own batter, Alvord, who looked at him and said, no, give it a second and make sure that you stay at third. Counts at 1-0. And Birch tried the breaking ball, just missed the zone. A little bit to the outside as the count moves to 2-0. And this is such a tough situation for Birch to manage, with those 2 runners breathing down his neck at second and third, just ready to pounce on one good hit from from Alvord. As that pitch comes in for a strike, count goes to 2-1. Sam Houston as a team hitting 7 for 17 now with 2 extra base hits. They are 5 for 12 with runners on today for a team average of 417. Not too shabby, all things considered. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss by Alvord. Count goes to 2-2. Great breaking ball by Landon Birch. And now he's got a realistic chance to sit down Alvord and potentially, as I mentioned before, control the damage here in this bottom half of the 5th inning. How does he handle this pitch with Alvord? 2-2. Alvord, ground ball to third. It gets past Von Dolan. Corcoran hesitates, now comes around, as does Fink. They'll both score, and the Bearcats will take a 6-3 lead. Hunter Alvord delivers for Sam Houston. And for MTSU, it's a gut punch in the bottom half of the 5th inning as the ball skimmed right past the third baseman, Brett Von Dolen, on the ground. And the Bearcats have taken control here in this middle part of the game. That is unfortunate for MTSU, but a brilliant hit for Hunter Alvord to put the Bearcats on top. And it was very close to potentially being a double play if everything had gone the way MTSU had hoped. Von Dolen was right there at third, and he tried to lean over, I think, to make sure that he was close to the bag, and he didn't lean over far enough. So Alvord is at second. That will bring on Ty Marthel-Johnny. The number 7 man in the order watches this pitch from Birch go by, and the count goes to 1-0. But now MTSU's really got to work to make sure this doesn't get any worse than what it already is. Counts at 1-0. Alvord at second after his first hit of the day. And Birch delivers a nice strike. They are going to rule that officially as an RBI single. That's what I was waiting on as far as calling what type of hit it was. So it's an RBI single, and advancing to throw, or second on the throw, was Alvord. So that's how it's officially scored. Counts at 1-1. And here's a fly ball hit the opposite way towards right field and just fouled into the right field corner. Rogers was trying to chase it down. And that'll bring the count to 1-2 on Ty Marthel-Johnny. And it was kind of interesting to watch Cade Corcoran on that play. He hesitated like he couldn't believe what he saw as the ball skipped past him and Von Dolen into left field. And he said, oh, what the heck, I got to take off. And he did. He almost got beaten back by the running Fink. Counts at 1-2. This pitch comes in upstairs. Count goes to 2-2. But both of them scored, and it puts the Bearcats on top by 3 runs. They've now scored 4 runs in this bottom half of the 5th inning. This is that uppercut inning that Sam Houston was looking for. We've talked a little bit about that this weekend and how it completely changes the game. Here's a line shot into left field again for a base hit. Once more past Von Dolen. Alvord will come around, he'll score, and that will be another RBI shot for the Bearcats. This time it's Ty Marthel-Johnny with his first hit of the game. 7-3, Sam Houston on top, and the Bearcats are making Landon Birch feel it right now. This has completely turned upside down for MTSU. It was Hunter Alvord with the RBI single just a moment ago, and now it's Ty Marthel-Johnny who's able to get the Bearcats back on the scoreboard. And if you're an MTSU fan, you've probably been saying to yourself, you got to be kidding me with how this inning's going. It has just been unfortunate. One bad circumstance after another. Von Dolen didn't have as much of a chance to make a play that time as that ball was hit into left field, but still was unable to get on it. So it's going to be another RBI single for the Bearcats. Scoring 1 run as Birch fires in this pitch. Count goes to 1-1 on Kirby Orth. And this all started back at the top of the frame, or top of the bottom of the 5th, if that's a thing you can say. The start of it's what I'm trying to say. When Frandon got that walk, ever since then, Bearcats have really taken full control. It's been one hit after the next. 1-1. This ball fouled into the netting by Orth. Counts at 1-2. And Birch was put in a pretty inopportune scenario to start things off, with runners already being on base and having to contain a very momentum-built team in this bottom half of the 5th inning, and it's been very hard to do so. Orth got a single last time he was up, and he's got Ty Marthel-Johnny currently at second base. 1-2. This ball popped up on the left side. Brewer is racing after it, and he'll make the catch right at the left field line for out number 2. So that is a much-needed second out for MTSU to get maybe a little bit of relief against Sam Houston. Jace Martinez will come to the plate. The number 9 man in the order, grounded out on a double play his last time up. Did get a single back in the second inning. And Marthaljani is still standing at second, hoping to be brought in. 5-run, bottom of the fifth already for Sam Houston so far. Got to give credit to them for what they've been able to accomplish in this frame. High breaking ball delivered here by Birch as the count goes to 0-1. For MTSU, it's frustrating, but there is still plenty of baseball yet to be played, and they've got to understand that they can find a way to make this comeback. 0-1 pitch coming up from Birch, and that is outside for ball number 1. I am curious to see, though, if MTSU will bring in a new pitcher in the bottom half of the 6th inning, or do you try to ride it out with Birch any further? Tough to say. We'll see what Myers decides to do. Counts at 1-1. And showing bunt for a moment was Martinez, and the pitch went right by him for a strike. Count goes to 1-2, and he's kind of shaking his head after the fact like, I shouldn't have done that. But these Sam Houston fans have been energized by what they've seen here in this recent part of the game. They want more runs. They want a bigger lead. MTSU wants to shut it down. 1-2 pitch. Birch fires it a little bit low, and the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes on that 80-mile-per-hour breaking ball. Bearcats now with 9 total hits in this game to MTSU's 4. Trying to take a 5-run advantage in the bottom of the 5th. 2-2 from Birch. Here's a fly ball deep into center field, back towards the batter's eye, and this one is off the glove of Nowak right at the wall. Marthaljani comes in, racing over to third and sliding in safe is Jace Martinez with a tremendous triple that puts the Bearcats on top by a score of 8-3. When it's your inning, and right now Sam Houston is just having their way with Landon Birch. Jerry Myers, I think he may have seen enough. He's making his way out of the dugout and makes a call to the pen. So Landon Birch's tough bottom of the 5th will come to an end with 6 runs given up, and MTSU now down 8-3. And we'll see in just a moment who the new pitcher is for MTSU, but certainly a huge setback in this middle part of the game. Back in 1 minute here on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner. Sam Houston up 8-3.
Hopkins with Exit Realty Bob Lamb and Associates. Winning in real estate is a lot like football. Good coaching and recruiting a great team are the keys. I put together a team of lenders, inspectors, and home professionals to help you succeed. Let me coach you through this process and make sure you come out a winner. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, I am here to help you win. Visit BradHopkinsHomes.com or call 615-556-9239 to find out more.
Nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity that could have changed your life. Maybe you're just graduating high school or are working and need to earn a degree to advance your career. Or you aspire to be a leader, and a graduate degree can make that happen. Whether you're just starting out or retooling for the future, Middle Tennessee State University can help you get there. MTSU, the University of Opportunities.
WGNS, the flagship station for Blue Raider sports.
8-3 is your score. Sam Houston on top here in the bottom half of the 5th inning with 2 outs after a 6-run frame so far against MTSU, and still more of this half inning to play. New pitcher on the mound for MTSU is John Michael Pickens, the southpaw out of Hueytown, Alabama. The junior played at Hueytown High School and also played some JUCO ball at Shelton State. Enters today's game with a 3.81 ERA, a 1-1 record, 28 1/3 innings pitched, 19 strikeouts, 15 walks issued, and 32 hits given up so far this season. And he's got the unenviable task of trying to slow down the red-hot Bearcats here in this bottom half of the 5th, who have just taken over against the MTSU bullpen and defense. And on that last RBI triple that we saw just a moment ago, Owen Nowak leapt up right at the wall, looked like he was going to have a chance to make the catch. It was going to be absurdly difficult, though. Had the ball bounce off of his glove, and it allowed the speedy Jace Martinez to not only get a hit and an RBI at that, but make it all the way to third for an RBI triple. So Martinez is still at third, and we go back to the top of the order, and that means Ryan Frandon, already 2 home runs this weekend, taking on John Michael Pickens, and we'll see what the southpaw has in store. Third pitcher of the game for MTSU with a strike as the count goes to 0-1. Landon Birch's day will come to an end after a tough outing here in this bottom half of the fifth. 2/3 of an inning with 3 earned runs given up against the Bearcats. And here's a ground ball to short. Badalak picks it up, throws to first, and O'Neal does a good job of digging that one out for a 6-3 and out number 3 here in the bottom half of this 5th inning. But still, the Bearcats do some significant damage. They put 6 runs on the scoreboard, and they're on top 8-3 over MTSU as we make our way to the top of the 6th. Blue Raiders will be looking to take a bite out of that lead when we come back in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Will Fraley, attorney at law, has experience you can count on. Former Blue Raider baseball player and MTSU alum Will Fraley serves Murfreesboro and the surrounding communities. Put a strong and experienced legal fighter on your case. Give Will Fraley a call and he can handle all of your legal matters, including criminal and domestic or family law. Visit willfraleylaw.com or call 615-410-7290.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
You're listening to MTSU Sports on WGNS.
Dr. Davis Spivey and Murfreesboro Oral Surgery and Implant Center are proud supporters of Blue Raider Athletics. For over 25 years, Dr. Spivey has provided the best oral surgical care possible to our community. Big thanks to Dr. Davis Spivey and Murfreesboro Oral Surgery and Implant Center for being one of our great sponsors for our broadcast. MTSU down 8-3 to the Sam Houston Bearcats as we're in the top half of the 6th inning. Blue Raiders gave up 6 runs in the bottom half of the 5th just a few moments ago and need to fight back in a big way right here as Tate Hickman is still on the mound. Cooper Clapp at the plate watches this pitch come in low. Count goes to 1-0. Blue Raiders, that's the most runs they've given up in an inning all weekend. And Landon Birch came in for Cole Torbett. Saw a lot of those runs come, unfortunately, at his expense. MTSU hoping that they'll be able to slow down the scoring for Sam Houston, but in the meantime, they've got to score some runs quickly. 1-1, Clapp, ground ball that is fouled to the right of the first base line. Count goes to 1-2. Clapp reached on a walk his last time up. Struck out swinging back in the first inning. Count will move to 1-2. And the important thing, as we always say, is you got to understand that you don't need to focus too much on the score. You've just got to find a way to keep playing your brand of baseball, and the runs and scoring will come to you. And with all the twists and turns we've seen today, we could very well see an inning like what Sam Houston delivered a second ago happen here in this top of the 6th. You never know what these Blue Raiders have up their sleeve. Counts at 1-2 for Clapp. Hickman's pitch is outside. Tate Hickman already with 5 innings of work today, has given up 2 earned runs with 3 total runs and 4 hits, has 2 strikeouts and 2 walks allowed. And this pitch by Hickman is low. Count moves to 3-2. Curious that he's still out there. I figured Sam Houston may make a pitching change over the break, but they decided not to. We'll see if they'll be paid off for that. 3-2 pitch. Ground ball by Clapp right back to Hickman into his glove, and he'll underhand toss to first for an easy out 1. So Clapp will ground out on a 1-3. That'll send on Dean O'Neal, but that is not how MTSU wanted to start this top half of the 6th inning, as It was about as easy as it could be for Tate Hickman and Sam Houston to get that out. And you don't have the luxury of using up a lot of outs with no consequence at this point in time. You got to make the most of it. O'Neill at the plate. 1 away. High fastball from Hickman. Count goes to 1-0. 89 miles per hour on the pitch by Hickman that time. Dean O'Neill. Season high 5 hits versus Alabama A&M back on April 17th. Had 4 RBIs versus Mo State on March 22nd, and here's a ground ball up the middle for a base hit. Nice piece of hitting by Dean O'Neill, and he's able to get his way over to first with a 1-out single, his first hit of this contest. We'll see what MTSU can do with this opportunity. O'Neill, the first baseman, in his usual spot at first, but this time on the offensive side. Nathan Brewer will come to the plate. Already 1 for 2 today. Got a double his last time up, a ground rule double, and one of the oddest circumstances you'll ever see, as it bounced just barely in fair territory on the left side of the field, and then bounced over the wall that separates the Sam Houston bullpen from the field itself, and as a result, the ground rule double was put in play. So you don't see something like that every day, as Hickman is having a brief conversation with Ryan Frandon, the third baseman, on the mound. Just trying to make sure they're aligned and on the same page. Count will be 1-0 coming up for Nathan Brewer. He has Brett Rogers behind him in the 6th spot. And Brewer had a 2-run home run performance yesterday. Trying to add to it against Hickman today as this pitch is upstairs. Count goes to 2-0. And that hot Texas afternoon sun makes a reappearance here in Huntsville. Count at 2-0. And this pitch is outside again. A little bit high by Hickman as well. 88 miles per hour on the fastball, but can't land it in the correct position. 3-0 pitch coming up for Nathan Brewer. And that, more towards the inside part of the plate, lands in the zone for a strike. Count goes to 3-1. Really nice fastball heated up by Hickman. That's a little bit more of what he was looking for. 3-1 Brewer, and that's ball 4. Upstairs again by Tate Hickman, and now MTSU with 2 runners on base. O'Neill will make his way to second with Nathan Brewer at first, and Brett Rogers will come to the plate for MTSU. Had an odd ground out last time he was at the plate to score Dean O'Neill. It was an RBI that Tate Hickman hesitated on that allowed for O'Neill to score, as he had a chance to make the play at the plate, but decided to throw to first instead. And here's Rogers lining one right to the shortstop. Throw to first. Will be back in time for the double play. Holy cow, Hunter Alvord with an incredibly athletic 6-3 double play to end the top half of the 6th inning. And a stroke of bad fortune for Brett Rogers and MTSU. My goodness. That'll take us to the bottom half of the 6th. With the score still 8-3, Sam Houston on top. This is the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Hey folks, it's Chip Walters from Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates, helping Middle Tennessee make smart moves in a fast-moving market. Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, you deserve someone who knows this community and treats your goals like their own. From first-timers to long-time homeowners, I'm here to guide you with clarity, confidence, and a steady hand. When you're ready to make the next move, start with someone you trust. Visit choosechip.net and let's make your 2026 move the right move.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders.
The Blue Raiders are on News Radio WGNS.
Back here to Huntsville, Texas. Dylan Simmons on the call in our rubber match between Middle Tennessee and Sam Houston on this Sunday afternoon. Bearcats on top 8-3 over the Blue Raiders. And Tate Hickman, continuing with his incredible job as the pitcher, now 6 innings through, has given up just 3 runs to MTSU. Blue Raiders had a chance with a couple guys on base there, but a ground ball double play, or a line-out double play, I should say, from Brett Rogers would see to it that that would not be the case. So John Michael Pickens is still on the mound for MTSU here. Out of the bullpen, he'll take on Jarrett Curtis in this bottom half of the 6th to start. And Curtis fouls this one the opposite way as the count goes to 0-1. Sam Houston trying to pick up what would be their first home CUSA Series win of the year. They have not won a Conference USA Series at home so far this season, but on the verge of potentially doing that, up 8-3. If they can match MTSU late and really just hold on to their lead. Count will be at 1-1 here off the high pitch from John Michael Pickens. Pickens had a season high 4 2/3 versus Murray State earlier this year in that weekday matchup. Here's a ball popped up on the right side, and it's going to land somewhere towards the MTSU bullpen for another foul. Count will be 1-2 for Curtis, who got a ground rule double his last time up. That eventually set up Cade Corcoran for a 2-run single that would start the Sam Houston flurry in the bottom of the 5th, in which they scored 6 total runs. Here's another ball fouled, brings the count to 1-2. Curtis shaking his head, but he's doing a pretty good job of sticking with it. Going to have another 1-2 coming up against John Michael Pickens. Nobody on base and no outs. Here's a pitch leveled in a little bit too low. Pickens tried a breaking ball that time. Count goes to 2-2. We've seen a lot of fastballs from him early on in this bottom of the 6th, but going for the breaking ball there. Former Alabama Community College Conference reliever of the year. Brought his stuff to MTSU and has been a solid addition so far. 2-2 pitch, low and inside for ball 3. Count's going to run full. MTSU trying to avoid another mid-game collapse. That's been a problem for them on the road with some catastrophic innings that have plagued them in some of these road contests. And hoping that that won't be the case against Sam Houston. Payoff pitch, Curtis. Fly ball out to right. Rogers standing right there to make the catch. And that will be out number 1. One away in the bottom of the 6th. Cade Corcoran will come to the plate for Sam Houston. Jerry Myers trying to urge on his team in his 4th year as Blue Raider head coach. Led the Blue Raiders to the CUSA Championship semifinal in his first year as the head coach for MTSU. First time since 2006 that had happened, and he's hoping that MTSU can find that form late in the year. But a series loss here in Huntsville to Sam Houston certainly would not help that, so trying to help his team fight back as we approach the late stages of this Sunday rubber match. 1-0 pitch. And there's a strike by John Michael Pickens. Count goes to 1-1. Of course, you can hold Sam Houston scoreless all you want here, but you'll have to start adding some runs and doing so in pretty quick order with the top of the 7th coming up soon and still a 5-run gap. As that pitch comes in a little wide, count goes to 2-1. Pickens has given up 32 total hits this season, does have 1 save to his name. His mother Tammy also played softball at Samford University. And he's from the same town as the late great Bobby Allison. Tremendous NASCAR driver, some of you may know. Part of the Alabama gang, and I reference that because the Cup Series is at Talladega today, so a little bit of a correspondence there. Counts at 3-1. Pitch by Pickens is high and outside for ball number 4. So Cade Corcoran will make his way over to first with a base on balls. He has made base every single time he's been to the plate today. Reached on a walk in the first, single in the third, 2-run single in the fifth, and now a walk in the sixth. Nathan Fink will come to the plate. Fink got a single his last time up. That's his lone hit of the day so far. Line went out to Von Dolan in the third and flew a ball out to left field in the first as this pitch by Pickens is inside, counts 1-0. And Pickens does not want to issue too many more walks on this Bearcat squad. You don't want to make it any easier on this team, which has had no issue scoring runs as of late. 1-0 pitch coming up. This ball popped up into shallow right center field. Rogers ranges over and makes the catch for out number 2, and he had to run halfway across the field to grab that thing. So that was a pretty nifty job by him to get the out. 2 away here in the bottom half of this 6th inning, and that'll bring on Sean Bazmore, right fielder who is 0 for 3 so far today. He's about the only Bearcat that hasn't been able to get a hit so far in this game. Has Corcoran waiting over at first base as we speak. 2 away in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Pickens with a pitch, ground ball to short. Badalak is there, flips it to second, and gets the out on Corcoran for out number 3. So that'll do it for the bottom half of the 6th inning. Bearcats come up empty, and our score remains 8-3. MTSU needs to score some runs and fast. We'll find out if they can in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's locker room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition. So step up your style and your spirit, because at Lightning's locker room, the season never slows down, and every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.
Locally grown, Blue Raider proud. This is Jonathan Harmon with the J. Harmon Home Team. As an MTSU alumnus and lifelong Rutherford County resident, I bring the heart of a teacher, the grit of a Blue Raider, and over 15 years of real estate experience to every client. Honest to a fault, connected to the community, and driven to serve. I don't just help you buy or sell, I help you understand every step. The J. Harmon Home Team, where real estate meets real talk.
Rutherford County's MTSU station, News Radio WGNS.
Pitching change for the Sam Houston Bearcats. Colin Alicio will make his way to the mound as he'll replace Tate Hickman, whose day comes to an end after a pretty solid performance on Middle Tennessee. 6 innings pitched with 2 earned runs given up. Did issue 3 walks with 2 strikeouts, but all in all, not too bad against this Blue Raider lineup that yesterday managed 12 runs on the Bearcats. But we'll see if Alicio can keep up with what Hickman was able to do. He's a pretty solid pitcher for Sam Houston, all things considered, coming out of the bullpen. Alicio, a freshman out of Spring, Texas, played at Klein Cain High School, 6'1", 205 pounds, 15th. MTSU hoping to exploit the young bullpen pitcher to get back into this game. Lane Akers will make his way to the plate as Middle Tennessee right now has numbers 7, 8, and 9 due up in the order against Alicio, and Akers trying to be aggressive, swings and misses here. Count goes to 0-1 as Alicio fires in an 87-mile-per-hour fastball for a strike. Count will be at 0-1. Akers struck out swinging his last time up, has also grounded out to short. And there's strike 2. Alicio showing some good stuff early on with 2 straight fastball strikes. Trying to challenge this MTSU lineup quickly and get this one step closer to a Sam Houston victory. 0-2 pitch, chopped right back to Alicio, turns around, throws, and gets it to first base for out number 1. A 1-3 ground out on Lane Akers, and that was a good job by by Alicio to adjust to that ball because it took an odd hop towards the left side of the infield. He had to spin and turn around and then heave that ball to first, but got it in time to Cade Corcoran. for out one. Brett Von Dolen will come to the plate. Popped a ball up to the third baseman his last time up and has also grounded out to third today. This pitch by Alicio is high and outside. Count goes to 1-0. Blue Raiders hitting 5 for 22 as a team. They are 1 for 9 today with runners on base. That's been maybe their biggest weak point batting-wise. It's just been the inability to cash in with runners aboard. We're able to get some creative runs earlier on some odd circumstances, but that well is somewhat dried up as this game has continued on. Alicio, 2-0, ground ball through the left side for a base hit. Now that's the Brett Von Dolen shot we were waiting on. A one-out single for MTSU. Von Dolen aboard here in the top half of the 7th inning. Clay Badalak will come to the plate, and his last time up, he got a single for MTSU. And after Von Dolen got the 6th hit of the game a couple moments ago, Badalak wants to hop aboard the base train once again as Von Dolen gets tested over there at first base. Alicio trying to see if he can catch him napping. Threw the ball to Corcoran on a pickoff, but Von Dolen got back to the bag quickly. Badalak at the plate. This pitch comes in high. Count goes to 1-0. Blue Raiders will have more baseball action coming up later this week. They head to Nashville on Tuesday to play Vanderbilt in what should be a big-time test. As there's a strike for Alicio. Count goes to 1-1. And then they'll be back at home this upcoming weekend to host the Liberty Flames in another Western Kentucky in a crucial CUSA series. Liberty is the final home series of the year. Badalak, swing and a miss. Count goes to 1-2. So here's how the final 3 series will go in the regular season. Western Kentucky, FIU, and then Liberty, just to make sure we're all on the same page. Count at 1-2 for Badalak. And here's a fly ball into right field. Back to make the catch is Bazemore, and he does. And that is 2 away here in the top half of the 7th inning. That'll bring us back to the top of the order. Owen Nowak will come to the plate. Reached on a fielder's choice back in the 5th inning and delivered a home run in the first, a solo home run shot that got the scoring started early in the contest, but unfortunately feels like a long time ago for MTSU considering all that's transpired since then. But if there's anybody to recapture the magic, Nowak could certainly do that. Alicio's pitch is low here. Count goes to 1-0. Of course, Von Dolen still waiting patiently over at first base, hoping that Nowak can spring him ahead and potentially get this thing a little bit closer on this Texas afternoon. 1-0 pitch. Ground ball by Nowak to second. Martinez there. Throws on to first. There's a 4-3, and there's the end of the top half of the 7th inning. One single from Brett Von Dolen, but that's it here in the top half of the inning. And after the 7th inning stretch, we'll come back for the bottom half of the 7th with the Bearcats on top 8-3 here on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Home and auto work as a team, you score and save money. I'm State Farm Agent Andy Wama. Give me a call at 615-890-0850.
Can we do a legal ID after this break?
Saving money on home and auto. With the service you get from State Farm, you might think our car insurance costs more. I'm State Farm Agent Andy Wama. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let me show you with discounts up to 40%. You may find it even costs less.
At Middle Tennessee Electric, we see the lines that link us all, illuminating our neighborhoods, empowering our businesses, and helping us to recharge. Because we believe in the power of good energy. Whether it comes from our grids, the sun, or a kind heart. And as your family and our region continue to grow, you can trust that we'll always be there for you. Middle Tennessee Electric, bringing good energy.
The Blue Raiders play here. News Radio WGNS.
Stretch time here at Don Sanders Stadium. Dylan Simmons with you as we approach the bottom half of the 7th inning between Middle Tennessee and Sam Houston in this Sunday rubber match. Bearcats on top by a score of 8-3. While we've got a moment, want to thank our friends at Raiders Rising Collective. Raiders Rising is the official NIL collective for MTSU Athletics. Raiders Rising provides student athletes from all 17 varsity teams at MTSU opportunities to earn income based on their name, image, and likeness. Follow at Raiders Rising on X and RaidersRising.com for more information on upcoming events, how to donate, become a member, and more. We'll see Hunter Alvord come to the plate for Sam Houston here. The number 6 man in the order, John Michael Pickens, still on the mound, has done a pretty good job so far through an inning and a third pitched. Trying to hold the Bearcats at bay for just a little bit longer with his Blue Raiders down by a score of 8-3. But obviously time is running short, and there are only 6 more outs for MTSU to work with to try to make some form of comeback against this Bearcat squad. Alvord pops it up on the right side of the field, into right field, and Rogers camps underneath it for out number 1. So Alvord will quickly be retired. It'll send on Ty Marthaljani. Got an RBI single the last time he came up to the plate. He's grounded out to third otherwise today. And it's interesting when you look at this game, outside of the bottom half of the 5th inning, MTSU would have the lead right now, up 3-2. It's just the 6 runs scored by Sam Houston has made all the difference here, and it's made a massive difference to say the least. This pitch by Pickens comes in low. Count will go to 1-0. He's been using that fastball quite a bit. Went with an off-speed pitch that time. Count will be at 1-0. Here's a chopper to short. Badalak runs, picks it up, throws to first, and does get the out. Really nice job by Clay Badalak on that 6-3 on Ty Marthaljani. He had to work for it too. Came up from the shallow part of left center and hurried to grab it from the dirt. Did so. Got it to Dean O'Neill. 2 away now here in this bottom half of the 7th inning. Kirby Orth will come to the plate, and Kirby has been hungry this weekend for the Sam Houston Bearcats. Some of you may have gotten that reference, my Nintendo fans out there. Orth already has a single today, as well as a walk. Tried to lay down a bunt there. Unsuccessful, but the count goes to 1-0 as the pitch missed the zone. Orth flew a ball out to left his last time up. Left fielder has done a pretty solid job all weekend at making things happen for Sam Houston that you just don't see coming. 1-0, this pitch is low, count goes to 2-0. As a team, Sam Houston 10 for 27 now hitting in this game. They forced 5 walks and are .370 for their team batting average. So the offense has just kicked it into that next gear. Pickens pitched to the outside, count goes to 3-0. And it's clear that Sam Houston's been on a mission so far in this game to take back what they felt like they lost yesterday in that second game of the series to MTSU. 3-0 pitch from John Michael Pickens does find the zone for a strike. 87-mile-per-hour fastball, and the count goes to 3-1. Sam Houston has just had a little more explosiveness today, and they've utilized that well. Trying to take this series win. 3-1, and here is a ball hit on a rope into right field for a base hit. It goes all the way to the right field corner. And Orth rounding second. He wants third. He's going to take third with a 2-out triple. The second triple of the day for the Sam Houston Bearcats as Kirby Orth delivers a monster of an extra base hit down the right field line against MTSU. That'll send on Jace Martinez with 2 outs and a runner 90 feet away from scoring for the Bearcats. Martinez did get a single back in the second, and his last time up got the other triple for Sam Houston, an RBI triple for the Bearcats, as a matter of fact, that he hit to center field off the glove of Owen Nowak. Pitch from John Michael Pickens finds the top part of the zone for a strike on a nice breaking ball. can still get out of this inning with no runs scored if MTSU plays this cleanly. Counts at 0-1, and this pitch is inside. Count evens at 1 ball, 1 strike. Jace Martinez also got a single back in the second inning of this game. Has been a little more productive today than in the first 2 games. Swing and a miss, though, here. Great breaking ball by John Michael Pickens again, using that curveball to his advantage. Count goes to 1-2. Trying to see if he can strike out Jace Martinez and get this thing on to the top half of the 8th inning. 1-2 from John Michael Pickens. Ground ball to third. Von Dolan there. Throws on to first and got it there in time to Dean O'Neill for the 5-3 and out number 3. 1 triple from Kirby Orth, but Bearcats held scoreless otherwise, and the score remains 8-3. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification here on WGNS and the Blue Raider Network.
The flagship station for Middle Tennessee sports, WGNS, Murfreesboro, Smyrna. The Blue Raiders play here.
Back in 1 minute here on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner. Bearcats on top 8-3 as we approach the top of the 8th.
The Blue Raiders are winners in the classroom, on the field, and the courts. Richard Lewis here. I want you to win in real estate also. Buying, selling, auction here in Tennessee, or along the Gulf Coast, a second home, or investing. Give me a call to help start that winning process. 615-319-9981. Oh, I'm never too busy for your referrals. Richard Lewis, Exit Realty, Bob Lamb & Associates.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders.
WGNS, the flagship station for Blue Raider sports.
Welcome back to Don Sanders Stadium here in the heart of Texas. Dylan Simmons on the call for this Sunday rubber match. Middle Tennessee down 8-3 in the top half of the 8th inning against the Sam Houston Bearcats, trying to make up the deficit of 5 runs. Tyler Minnick to the plate, taking on Colin Alacio, who came in during the last frame for the Bearcats in place of Tate Hickman. Did a pretty solid job in the top of the 7th, but still allowed a couple of base runners. This pitch comes in low, and the count will be 2-0 for Tyler Minnick, who's 1 for 3 on the day. Got a single up the middle back in the first inning. That's been his lone hit so far. And this pitch by Alacio finds the far corner. Count goes to 2-1. MTSU running out of time to try to make a 5-run comeback. They need a lot to go their way late in this contest. 2-1 pitch, make it a 2-2. Top right part of the zone for Colin Alacio on a fastball, and it was very well placed at 88 miles per hour. Another 2-2 on the way to Minnick. And he tried to go back to that fastball, just missed the zone. Fans didn't appreciate the call, and the count will run full at 3-2 for the opportunistic Tyler Minnick, trying to change the face of this game. Payoff pitch. Minnick, chopper to short, picked up by Alvord, throws on to first, and he did get it there in time for the 6-3. Really good play by Hunter Alvord. That's one that looks kind of easy from up here, but it's so hard on the field of play to maintain your balance and pick up the ground ball at that rate of speed, but Alvord able to do so. One away in the top half of the 8th inning. Cooper Clapp will come to the plate. He's 0 for 2 so far on the day for MTSU, but has reached on a walk, which he got back in the 4th inning. Struck out in the first and grounded out his last time up. There's a strike by Alacio. Count is now at 0-1. Cooper Clapp, redshirt junior out of Savannah, Tennessee, transfer from Notre Dame. with a ground ball up the middle here. Alvord picks it up, throws it on to first, and got it there in time. Hunter Alvord, back-to-back, incredible 6-3s. This one much tougher on Cooper Clapp. Thought for sure that ball would get up the middle for a base hit, but Hunter Alvord, like a hockey goalie, denies him. And then the athletic ability to get it to first for the out. That'll send on Dean O'Neill for MTSU, but this is not at all what MTSU is looking for in this top of the eighth. 2 quick outs. Now just 4 outs left to work with. O'Neill did get a single his last time up, has also reached on a fielder's choice and a walk this afternoon. Alacio puts in another nice fastball as the count goes to 0-1. Colin Alacio has really done a pretty stupendous job out of the bullpen today against MTSU. He and Tate Hickman combining for a really nice effort. 0-1 pitch, strike 2. 87 miles per hour on the fastball for Colin Alacio. And he's on the verge of maybe striking out Dean O'Neill and taking this game to the bottom of the eighth to give Sam Houston a chance to add insurance. 0-2 pitch. Placed to the outside. Tried to find that outside corner. Could not quite find the plate. Count goes to 1-2. MTSU's got to find some sort of spark here before it's too late. 1-2, and to the outside. Good recognition by O'Neill once more as he gets the count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Dean O'Neill, of course, transferred in from Maine originally and has taken off at MTSU. The 2-2 is in for a fastball strikeout. Dean O'Neill is the last batter up in a 1-2-3 inning on the Blue Raiders, and Colin Alacio making it look easy right now for Sam Houston. The lead is still 8-3 as we move on to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Bearcats looking to add some insurance when we come back in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's locker room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition. So step up your style and your spirit, because at Lightning's locker room, the season never slows down, and every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.
Hey Blue Raider fans, this is Brad Hopkins with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates. Winning in real estate is a lot like football. Good coaching and recruiting a great team are the keys. I put together a team of lenders, inspectors, and home professionals to help you succeed. Let me coach you through this process and make sure you come out a winner. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, I am here to help you win. Visit BradHopkinsHomes.com or call 615-556-9239 to find out more.
You're listening to MTSU Sports on WGNS.
Welcome back to Don Sanders Stadium in Huntsville, Texas. Dylan Simmons on the call, and we have reached the bottom half of the 8th inning between your Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders and the Sam Houston Bearcats. 8-3 your current score. Excuse me, I had to cough for a second. There we go. Now we should be all good. MTSU with only 3 more outs to work with in the top half of the 9th inning. And right now, Sam Houston trying to find their way to a series-clinching victory against MTSU. And the path is very clear right now for the Bearcats. John Michael Pickens on the mound. His job right now is just to make sure that this 8-3 lead is not expanded anymore. Ryan Frandon is at the plate. 1 for 2 days so far. He's reached twice on a walk and also has an RBI double as he fouls this one back. Count goes to 1-1. John Michael Pickens in 2 1/3 innings pitched has been pretty solid so far. 1 hit, no runs given up. No strikeouts as well, but he hasn't needed them. Did give up 1 triple back in the 7th inning to Kirby Orth, but has been good otherwise. Breaking ball here and another nice strike. Count goes to 1-2. One of the better pitches we've seen from John Michael Pickens here in this game. Blue Raiders entered the weekend as the number 4 team in the conference in team ERA at 4.81, 8th in hits allowed and 7th in strikeouts. This pitch upstairs by Pickens evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Last time MTSU came to Huntsville in 2024, they were swept by the Bearcats. Won't be the case this time, but in danger of falling once again in a 3-game series. 2-2. Here's a fly ball out to left field. Brewer ranging back, and he'll camp underneath it to make the catch for out number 1. So that is a pretty easy out, all things considered, on Ryan Frandon, a man who's not easy to get out in that kind of fashion. Jarek Curtis will come to the plate for Sam Houston. Got a double back in the 5th inning. Ground rule double, as a matter of fact. He's also flown a ball out to right, grounded out to short, and grounded out on a 1-3. 1 away in the bottom of the 8th. Curtis, team leader in several categories. High fly ball deep to left center field. This ball is off the scoreboard and gone. Jarek Curtis with a solo home run that might put an exclamation point on the series for the Sam Houston Bearcats. 9-3, Sam Houston on top here at Don Sanders Stadium. And I mentioned earlier in the broadcast how he had been somewhat quiet by his standards this weekend, and he was just waiting for the opportunity to explode today, and he's done that with a double and now a solo home run shot to give the Bearcats a 6-run lead in this bottom half of the 8th inning. A demoralizing result for MTSU here. Cade Corcoran will come to the plate as this pitch is high from John Michael Pickens. Obviously all hope is not lost yet, but that is a tough shot to deal with if you're MTSU. Corcoran's had a great day in his own right, has reached base every single time he's been up to bat in this contest as Pickens delivers a strike. Count goes to 1-1. Corcoran reached on a walk back in the 1st, a single on the 3rd, or a single in the 3rd. Had a 2-run single in the 5th and a walk forced in the 6th. Now 1-1 in the 8th. Fly ball out to left field, but it'll be fouled towards the Bearcat clubhouse. And the count will move to 1-2. Temperatures up pretty high once again here in Huntsville, Texas, as you'd expect. No surprise, but Texas is pretty hot this time of year. 85 degrees, not as bad as the 90s we were seeing on Friday, but still pretty warm. 1-2, and a swing and a miss. That'll be a big strikeout for John Michael Pickens on Cade Corcoran. Gets him swinging, and that is 2 away here in the bottom half of the 8th inning, as Nathan Fink will come to the plate. But before that, Jerry Myers is going to make his way out of the MTSU dugout, and we'll see what he wants to do here. I think there will be a pitching change made, and there will be. So John Michael Pickens' day will come to an end, and we'll see who the new pitcher is for MTSU in just a moment. Back in 1 minute here on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner. Sam Houston up 9-3.
Nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity that could have changed your life. Maybe you're just graduating high school, or are working and need to earn a degree to advance your career. Or you aspire to be a leader, and a graduate degree can make that happen. Whether you're just starting out or retooling for the future, Middle Tennessee State University can help you get there. MTSU, the University of Opportunities.
Will Fraley, attorney at law, has experience you can count on. Former Blue Raider baseball player and MTSU alum Will Fraley serves Murfreesboro and the surrounding communities. Put a strong and experienced legal fighter on your case. Give Will Fraley a call and he can handle all of your legal matters, including criminal and domestic or family law. Visit willfraleylaw.com or call 615-410-7290.
The Blue Raiders are on News Radio WGNS.
New pitcher in for Middle Tennessee. It is Abel Albaron, who will make his first appearance of the weekend. Albaron with a 6.38 ERA on the year. He's given up 17 earned runs, has issued 12 walks, has 19 strikeouts, and has 24 total innings pitched on the season so far. Trying to keep it at a 9-3 Sam Houston lead with 2 outs in this bottom half of the 8th inning. Just a few moments ago, we saw a solo home run shot from Jarrett Curtis that extended this Bearcats advantage. And right now it looks as though Sam Houston on their way to win number 20 on the season and win number 9 in CUSA play. That would even them up with MTSU in the conference standings and give them tiebreaker should the two teams tie in conference play at the end of the season. So no understating how big of a series this is for both sides. MTSU trying to keep pace with a competitive middle of the pack in Conference USA. The top 5 have somewhat separated themselves in the standings, and MTSU hoping to bring it to all of them if they can make the conference tournament. But right now, they got to focus on Nathan Fink at the plate with 2 outs here in the bottom half of the 8th. Nobody on base. Abel Albaran trying to make this a speedy out and get this thing to the top of the 9th to give MTSU a chance. Pitch on the way to Fink is a little bit inside, counts 1-0. Albaran went with the off-speed pitch. Nathan Fink, 1 hit and 1 run already today. Got a single back in the 5th. Otherwise has come up empty so far. 1-0 pitch by Albaran. And he zips in a 92-mile-per-hour fastball for a strike. Count evens at 1-1. Nathan Fink flew a ball out to left in the 1st. Had a liner to 3rd in the 3rd inning and flew a ball out to right in the 6th. 1-1 pitch from Albaran. Ground ball to 3rd base. Von Dolan there, throws on to 1st, and that will be a 5-3 that brings the bottom half of the 8th to an end. So MTSU will keep the score at 9-3, but still in the inning, a solo home run shot from Jarrett Curtis puts the Bearcats on top by 6. Does MTSU have anything left in the top of the 9th? We'll find out in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
Hey folks, it's Chip Walters from Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates, helping Middle Tennessee make smart moves in a fast-moving market. Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, you deserve someone who knows this community and treats your goals like their own. From first-timers to long-time homeowners, I'm here to guide you with clarity, confidence, and a steady hand. When you're ready to make the next move, start with someone you trust. Visit choosechip.net and let's make your 2026 move the right move.
Rutherford County's MTSU station, News Radio WGNS.
Back here to Huntsville, Texas for the top half of the 9th inning of this rubber match between Middle Tennessee and Sam Houston in game number 3 of the series. Tied at 1-1, but Sam Houston on top 9-3, trying to claim the series with 3 more outs against MTSU. And it is Colin Alacio who's done a great job out of the bullpen. Still on the bump for Sam Houston here, trying to make this a quick 3 outs and end MTSU's hopes of claiming a road series here in Texas this weekend. It will be Nathan Brewer who will head to the plate for MTSU, as it'll be 5, 6, and 7 due up. Brewer, Brett Rogers, and Lane Akers. The last hope for MTSU to come back from this 6-run deficit, but Colin Alacio leaving them little room to make that comeback with another strike. Count goes to 0-1. MTSU with 6 total hits today. Brewer swing and a miss, count at 0-2. Brewer had a couple of home runs against Sam Houston yesterday. Did get a double earlier in this game, back in the 4th inning, a ground rule double. Facing an 0-2 count on Alacio. And that pitch comes in just a little bit low. 1 ball and 2 strikes for Brewer. Brewer, of course, not just the 2 home runs, but 4 total RBIs yesterday in that performance. 1-2, and this will be fouled back towards the parking lot by Brewer. Bearcat fans here at Don Sanders Stadium eager to see Sam Houston come away with the series victory, but MTSU trying to spoil the party. Remember that they did have an explosive inning yesterday in which they scored 5 runs. Maybe they've got something like that waiting in the wings again. Here's a ball popped up and fouled by Brewer. And if nothing else at this point in time, what Brewer's doing is helping to run up Alasio's pitch count, which is still relatively low, only at 25. But you at least make it a little bit easier for yourself, and you keep giving yourself and your team a chance. 1-2 pitch on the way, and that's slow and outside. Count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nathan Brewer, we said at the beginning of the broadcast that he's a guy that continues to develop week in and week out. The sophomore out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, who played at Oakland High School. Already several multi-hit games this year, former Class 1A Mr. Baseball, and now delivers a fly ball deep to left field, back towards the wall, and it's going to be fouled over towards the Sam Houston softball field. Had the distance to exit the ballpark, but didn't have the angle. So the count will stay at 2-2, and Kirby Orth did what he could to try to chase it down, but there was no gathering that one. We'll see if Brewer can do that again. He did crease one to the inside of the left field foul pole yesterday. This 2-2, too far to the inside, and the count runs full as Alasio tried the breaking ball. Couldn't quite fit it on that inside corner. So a payoff pitch coming up for Nathan Brewer here. Let's see if he can cash in on a 3-2. Here's a ball chopped foul towards the Blue Raider bullpen. And you got to admire Nathan Brewer's tenacity right now. Man we talked with in the pregame. He exhibited that tenacity in our pregame interview. Solely focused on the goal of winning this game and showing out against the Bearcats, what he's trying to do right now. Here's a chopper back towards the mound, picked up by Alasio. Underhand toss to first for out number 1. 1-3 on Brewer, and despite the great battle that he had with Colin Alasio, Alasio will get the better of him, and there is 1 down here in the top half of the 9th inning. Brett Rogers will come to the plate. Right fielder does have an RBI today. Got it on a 1-3 ground out. He's also grounded out to second and short, so does not have a hit yet in this game. Here's a chopper over to short. Alford's got it. Off balance throw to first, and another dynamic play by Hunter Alford. A 6-3, 2 away here in the top of the 9th. Again, had to throw it off balance to get it to first, and Cade Corcoran, but did so. And now it's Lane Akers to the plate with 2 outs in the top of the 9th. And if he can't deliver a hit or get on base for MTSU, this game and this series will come to an end in favor of the Bearcats. Pitch by Alasio. Fastball in for a strike at 87 miles per hour. Count goes to 0-1. Akers 0 for 3 today, has grounded out twice and struck out in the 4th inning. Alasio 0-1. This pitch a little bit low and outside. Count evens at 1 ball, 1 strike as he tried a breaking ball on Akers. Lane Akers had a solo home run yesterday late in the game to help MTSU clinch. Looking for more magic here. This pitch well to the inside by Alasio on a breaking ball. Count goes to 2-1. Akers had been somewhat quiet up until that home run. Has been quiet today. 2-1 pitch. And again, Alasio misses the zone a little bit to the outside. And the count will be 3 balls and 1 strike for Lane Akers, who's standing in strong, looking to give his team another chance. 3-1 count. And here's a high fly ball deep into left field, and Lane Akers and the Blue Raiders are not done yet. Solo home run for Lane Akers, and 7 is Sam Houston's unlucky number here in the top half of the 9th inning. What a brilliant blast by Lane Akers. He doesn't want to leave Texas quite like that. He wanted to show that he's got more left in the chamber, and that's exactly what he did with that home run. Brett Von Dolen will come to the plate. Now a 5-run game. A little bit of fight still left in this Blue Raider squad at least. Von Dolen got a single his last time up as Alacio places this pitch to the outside, and hey, maybe that home run can spark a fire for this MTSU team late. Give them the juice they need to overcome this big deficit. 1-0. As that fastball at 89 miles per hour comes in for a strike, count goes to 1-1. 393 feet for Lane Akers, and back-to-back days with home runs for him. 6th homer of the season. And here's a line shot towards left that's fouled off the left field bullpen barricade. Count goes to 1-2. If that had gotten down into the corner, it could have been a pretty easy extra base hit for Von Dolen. Did not quite have the angle, though. As the second baseman, Martinez, will shift his way over to left field. Counts at 1-2. Von Dolen fouled it off. And thank goodness that it didn't go back into the field of play, because it would have been right in front of the plate and would have been a desperate situation for Brett Von Dolen. Instead, the count will stay at 1-2. And again, Sam Houston with a shift towards the left field side. Bearcat fans clapping, trying to secure the win for the team. 1-2 pitch. Von Dolen swing and a miss. And that will put an end to Game 3. Von Dolen strikes out swinging, and Colin Alacio will have the final word on this 3-game series that puts the Sam Houston Bearcats over the Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders. A hard-fought series all the way through, and a fun Game 3. Obviously not the way that MTSU wanted it to go, but they showed a lot of heart and a lot of grit, but they just didn't quite have enough to match the fire that Sam Houston brought on a hot Texas afternoon here on Sunday, April 26th. And the search for the first CUSA Road Series win of the season will continue on for MTSU as they just ran into a better team on this particular Sunday, and the Bearcats playing this one here in Huntsville. We're going to take a quick 2-minute timeout. When we come back, we will wrap things up with our Blue Raider post-game show, and we'll give you the stats from today's game and preview the next matchups for MTSU. Back in 2 minutes here on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders!
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's locker room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition. So step up your style and your spirit, because at Lightning's locker room, the season never slows down, and every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.
Locally grown, Blue Raider proud. This is Jonathan Harmon with the J. Harmon Home Team. As an MTSU alumnus and lifelong Rutherford County resident, I bring the heart of a teacher, the grit of a Blue Raider, and over 15 years of real estate experience to every client. Honest to a fault, connected to the community, and driven to serve. I don't just help you buy or sell, I help you understand every step. The J. Harmon Home Team, where real estate meets real talk.
At State Farm, when home and auto work as a team, you score and save money. I'm State Farm agent Andy Wama. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let's work together to win big by saving money on home and auto. With the service you get from State Farm, you might think our car insurance costs more. I'm State Farm agent Andy Wama. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let me show you with discounts up to 40%. You may find it even costs less.
WGNS, the flagship station for Blue Raider sports. Today's game is in the books, and it's time to recap today's action in the Blue Raider postgame show. Today's broadcast on the Blue Raider Network has been brought to you in part by Will Fraley, attorney at law, State Farm Insurance, and agent Andy Womack, Middle Tennessee Electric, Exit Realty, Bob Lamb & Associates, and agents Brad Hopkins, Richard Lewis, Jonathan Harmon, and Chip Walters. And by Las Casas Drugs. Let's head back to the ballpark for today's Blue Raider postgame show.
Your final score here in the rubber match between Middle Tennessee and Sam Houston. The Bearcats picking up the win here on Sunday afternoon in Central Texas by a score of 9-4. Let's go over our post-game stats for the game. And MTSU had some solid outings from several guys. Owen Nowak ends up with a solo home run shot, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 RBI day. And Lane Akers got a late solo home run for MTSU in the bottom half of the ninth inning, or top half of the ninth inning, I should say, with 2 outs. He ends up with 1 RBI, 1 hit, and 1 run. Nathan Brewer got a double in this game, 1 hit for him. Dean O'Neill with 1 hit and 1 run, and Tyler Minnick had 1 hit and 1 run as well for MTSU. As far as pitching goes, Cole Torbett started the day, ended up with 4 innings pitched, gave up 5 earned runs with 4 walks issued, and had 70 total pitches. Landon Birch came in for 2/3 of an inning, gave up 3 earned runs and 4 hits. John Michael Pickens had a solid outing, 3 innings pitched with just 2 hits and 1 earned run given up on 40 total pitches, and Abel Alberon cleaned up the final third of an inning, and he ends up with a total of 3 pitches in today's game. Cole Torbett will officially be awarded with the loss as Tate Hickman takes the win for Sam Houston, and Colin Alacio will be awarded with the save for the Bearcats. Sam Houston had a multi-hit day from Jarrett Curtis, who ends up with 1 RBI, 2 hits, and 2 runs. Ryan Franding with 2 RBIs, 1 hit, and 1 run. Cade Corcoran with 2 hits and 2 RBIs for the Bearcats as well. On their way to a team total 12 hits today, MTSU as a team ends up with 7 hits in this game. Blue Raiders will drop to 22-22 overall, 9-12 in CUSA play. Sam Houston 20-24, now 9-12 as well in CUSA play. And the Bearcats do hold tiebreaker over MTSU, and of course we'll see how the other CUSA games today shake out to find out where MTSU currently resides in the Conference USA standings. Next up for the Blue Raiders, they will be on the road on Tuesday night to take on the Vanderbilt Commodores. And, of course, Dick Palmer, the voice of Blue Raider baseball, will be on the call, so make sure you tune in for that one. And then MTSU back at home on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for a weekend series against Western Kentucky with big-time Conference USA ramifications, so make sure you tune in for that one. I'll be back on the air with you in a couple weekends from now as MTSU goes on the road to take on the FIU Panthers. Looking forward to that one in Miami. But as for today, that's going to do it. So for all of you listening in, I am Dylan Simmons saying so long from Huntsville, Texas, where our final score is Sam Houston 9, Middle Tennessee 4. This has been a presentation of the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner and WGNS. So long and have an electric night, everyone.
At Middle Tennessee Electric, we see the lines that link us all, illuminating our neighborhoods, empowering our businesses, and helping us to recharge. Because we believe in the power of good energy. Whether it comes from our grids, the sun, or a kind heart. And as your family and our region continue to grow, you can trust that we'll always be there for you. Middle Tennessee Electric, bringing good energy.
The Blue Raiders are winners in the classroom, on the field, and the courts. Richard Lewis here. I want you to win in real estate also. Buying, selling, auction here in Tennessee, or along the Gulf Coast, a second home, or investing. Give me a call to help start that winning process. 615-319-9981. Oh, I'm never too busy for your referrals. Richard Lewis, Exit Realty, Bob Lamb & Associates.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders!
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's locker room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition. So step up your style and your spirit, because at Lightning's locker room, the season never slows down, and every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.
Thanks for listening to today's Middle Tennessee State University baseball game. Today's game has been produced by Van Wagner College through the facilities of WGNS Radio. The content of today's game is owned by Van Wagner College and the Blue Raider Network and may not be reproduced without expressed written permission of Middle Tennessee State University and Van Wagner College. Be sure to join us next time for more Middle Tennessee baseball here on the Blue Raider Network on WGNS, the flagship station for Blue Raider sports.
We now